Shalom Akyam, Wa'akwam, Shalom to the 12 tribes of the nation of Israel. Hey, again, the Lord, the Most High, and His Son has given us, brothers, the power to come out here again, man. Okay, on a Sunday, February 6th, the year 2022. Okay, the year of the turn up. We're out here to prophesy the downfall of this kingdom, which is known as Esau's kingdom, so-called white man, Babylon the Great. But we're also here to build up the tabernacle of David, the 12 tribes of the nation of Israel. So to watch the Heavenly Father and His Son for giving us the power to come out here. Right, so we turn to the Holy Land, to the east, and we give all praises to our powers. Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakodash. Double honor to the apostles and elders at Great Millstone, and a mighty shalom to the brethren who are scattered amongst the heathen, doing the work of Yahweh Shai in truth and in sincerity, man. Okay, so Lord's will, we're going to go into various precepts in the spirit, and go into Bible prophecy, okay, news articles. So we're going to start in the book of Revelation, the 21st chapter, which the book of Revelation was written by the apostle John out of the island of Patmos. Okay, and John wrote various different letters to the 7 churches in Asia Minor, man. Which those churches are back here again in Babylon the Great, man. Starting with the elders apostles at Great Millstone, man. So bring it out, bro.
Yeah, this is Revelation 21 and 7. This is in the NLT.
Yeah, now that word Revelation, when you study the Greek, it actually translates the Greek word apocalypsis or apocalypsis, which means a revelation of truth. Okay.
That's how you know it's time to start. You know, repeat, and then the people start playing loud music. Yeah.
That's the spirit, because every time we start Cat, man, you're always gonna have somebody putting in that green light, so to speak, on the left-hand side, that canvas in session. The battlefield's ready to unleash itself.
Yeah.
Okay. So again, that word apocalypsis, the Greek word for revelation, means a revealing of truth. And what is the truth? Yahweh Shai. Because it's all about Yahweh Shai from the end to the beginning, man. So bring it out, bro.
This is Revelation 21 and 7.
Start that fire from Yahweh Shai.
Revelation 21 and 5 in the NLT. And the one sitting on the throne said, "Look, I am making everything new."
Yup, and that's what's going to happen. How about tries about to make everything new, everything back to its original order. Go ahead.
And then he said to me, "Write this down, for what I tell you is trustworthy and true."
Yeah, write this down. Write what? The prophecies, for they are trustworthy and true. So these are the precepts from Genesis to Revelation. It's 100% truth, 144% truth. Go ahead, bro.
Revelation 21 and 6 in the NLT. And he also said, "It is finished."
Yep. And he also said, "It is finished." And that's what's going to happen when Esau falls down. It is finished. Okay, the downfall of Esau, Edom, has been accomplished, man. Through the service of the prophets of Yahweh Shai. Go ahead.
"I am the Alpha and the Omega."
Yeah, the Alpha, that's a Greek word which means the beginning. Okay, Omega means the end. Okay, the beginning and the end. Genesis and Revelation. Go ahead.
"The beginning and the end. Yep. To all who are thirsty, I will give freely from the springs of the water of life."
Yeah, so if you're thirsty for knowledge of this truth, hey, this is for free, man. Pursuant to Isaiah 55, I think that's 11. Everybody that thirsts, come me to the waters and drink. Okay, this spiritual water. Go ahead.
Revelation 21 and 7.
Yep.
"All who are victorious will inherit all these blessings."
All who are victorious. Over what? Over the mark of the beast, right? The image. Over Esau's kingdom. This is a wicked demonic system, man. Go ahead.
"Will inherit all the blessings."
Yeah, will inherit all the blessings. And what are the blessings? Simply read the book of Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter, starting at around the first verse on down to the 14th verse, right? And ultimately, that's eternal life. That's the ultimate blessing for so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans who endure all the way until the end of this wicked society. Go ahead.
"And I will be their God, their power, Yahweh, and they will be my children."
Yup. And that word children goes into the sons of the living power, Yahweh Shai. So any brother that overcomes, Esau's, attacks, through your faith and works, man, you're gonna receive the blessings, everlasting life, man, and that's the promise. You got something, bro? Get
It says,
all the word victorious time.
It says,
overcome it.
You want to get that word?
Yeah, so we're gonna go into that word, overcome it, in the Blue Letter Bible.
Yeah, overcome it. I think it's like, yeah.
Because that's ultimately what we're here to do, man.
So
Overcome.
this is in the this is in the Greek, 35:28, and it says to conquer.
To conquer, man.
And this is the word overcoming.
Hey, just like Esau conquered us, well, guess what? Now is our turn to conquer them. In the spirit, okay, not in the flesh, because Yahweh said what? In the book of, where's this? 2 Corinthians, the 10th chapter, where the weapons of our warfare are not carnal, okay, but spiritual, okay? Defeating our strongholds, defeating anything that comes against Yahweh and his men, okay, bro?
Yeah, pulling down those strongholds, because some of the strongholds are that our Lord Yahweh Shai is actually a so-called white man.
Yep.
Okay, and this is this is spiritually Sodom and Gomorrah, which is Babylon the Great. Okay, when Babylon the Great goes back to confusion, and America goes back to bitter, and we're in a bitter, confused state when a lot of our people don't even know who they are. That's why we're out here on the highways and the byways to forewarn them that there's blow that trumpet and give that warning.
Yeah, because ultimately we're sending invitations to the wedding, man. Okay, and everybody's invited. Okay, every so-called Negro, Latino, Native American men, women, and children, they're invited to the wedding. But at the end of the day, not everybody's going to show up. Yep. Pursuant to that parable where it says, I think that's in the gospel, where it says that many are called, but few are chosen, man, for the wedding for salvation.
Because there's only a remnant and a elect few men that are going to be able to, a very small sanctuary, a residue of men that are going to be able to have the understanding to be able to not stumble on certain things like the name.
Yeah, stumble not upon a beautiful woman in the spirit. Okay, go ahead, bro.
Second Ezra 8:1, and he answered me, saying, the Most High had made this world for many, but the world to come for few.
Yeah, there's over 8 billion people on this wicked society, man. But out of those 8 billion people, like King Solomon said in the book of Ecclesiastes, the 7th chapter, out of 1,000 men, he only found one righteous, man.
And out of women, he found none.
He found none.
God. Because Yahweh Shemel Shai deprived woman of wisdom, neither had he imparted to her understanding. The tabernacle of the Most High dwells with men. All the great prophets of old were all men. You know? There's no book of Sarah, there's no book of Rebecca, so on and so forth, man.
And Esau Edom on the left-hand side, he has an agenda which is called the Georgia Guidestones, to bring down the population down to 500 million. Okay. Meanwhile, Yahweh Shemel Shai, there's 144,000 men that won't bow down to the image of Baal.
And the innumerable multitude as well. Who believe on the
That
report.
believe in the report.
Right, you want to get Revelation the 7th chapter?
Now reminds me, you want to get St. John 17, Revelation about 20.
Revelation 7. John 17 and 20, bro?
Because Yahweh Shai prayed for the elect in the form of those who are preaching this message and those that will believe on the report.
Yep, and that prayer is known as the prayer of intercession. Yeah, Yahweh Shai praying for the whole free elect for them to receive mercy, man. Use that Z. Want to bring it out, bro? This is John 17 and 20.
Want to start with 19?
John 17 and 19. And for their sakes I sanctify myself, that they also might be sanctified through the truth.
You shall know the truth, and the truth shall set you free. You know?
Verse 20. Neither pray I for these alone, but for them also which shall believe on me through their word, that they all may be one, as thou, Father, art in me, and I in you, that they also may be one in us, that the world may believe that thou hast sent me. Verse 22. And the glory which thou gavest me, I have given them, that they may be one, even as we are one. I in them, and thou in me, that they may be made perfect in one, and that the world may know that thou hast sent me, and hast loved them as thou hast loved me.
Yep.
And that's Yahweh Shai, man, praying to Yahweh for the whole free elect, for the world of the nation of Israel, was starting with the tabernacle of David, man. Okay, because those men who are going to conquer this wicked society, man, okay, they're going to inherit all the blessings. Keep on going, bro.
This is Ephesians 5 and 26, that he might sanctify and cleanse it with the washing of water by the word.
Yeah, that's a true baptism. Now, there's nothing wrong getting a physical baptism, but the real baptism is through what? Through the word, man. Read that one more time, bro.
Yeah, this is Ephesians 5 and 26, that he might sanctify and cleanse it with the washing of water by the word.
And that backs up Psalms 119 and 9. How shall a young man cleanse his way? By taking heed thereto according to the word. Who's the word? Yahweh Shai, man. That's the only way you're going to get spiritually baptized. That's how you're going to cleanse your spiritual system, so to speak.
Because that's how you're able to what? Get the victory. That's the only way you're going to get the victory is if you add heed to what Yahweh Shai is giving to you through the passions of his own heart. By what? Hearkening and listening and watching and also while praying. But first you have to what? Not buck up against the the prophets and also the doctrine.
This is the point I wanted to get at. I had to read it, but I want to go over it again. So, Yahweh, this is the prelude to the chapter right here. It has a little play-by-play. It says Yahweh Shai prayer for believers, because Yahweh Shai prayed for the elect, in the form of the prophets and those that will believe on the report through the prophets. This is St. John 17 and 20. Neither pray I for these alone. Talking about the man he sent. Yep. Let's go to St. John 17 and 19. Yep. I'm gonna start with 17. Sanctify them through thy truth. Thy word is truth. Yep. As thou hast sent me in the world, even so have I sent them in the world.
You have to do what? To prophesy. Go to the highways and hedges and fish for the hopefully elect.
Yep. Go ahead. This is St. John 17 and 19. And as for their sakes I sanctify myself, that they also may be sanctified through the truth. Let me get something to back it up. This is book of Wisdom of Solomon 3 and 9. Yep. They that put their trust in him shall understand the truth.
Yeah, they that put their trust in Yahweh Shai shall understand the truth, which is Yahweh Shai, which translates to what? Victory, man.
Yep. Wisdom of Solomon 3 and 9. They that put their trust in him shall understand the truth. And such as be faithful in love shall abide with him, for grace and mercy is to his saints.
Hey, read that one more time, bro.
Yep. Wisdom of Solomon 3 and 9, again from the top. They that put their trust in him shall understand the truth, and such as be faithful in love shall abide with him, for grace and mercy is to his saints, and he hath care for his elect.
Yep, and for the Lord's elect, was that Isaiah 44 and 1?
Yep, let me get this real quick. St. John 17 and 20. Neither pray I for these alone, the men he sent, but for them also which shall believe on me through their word.
Yep.
This is John 10 and 27. It says, my sheep hear my voice, and I know them, and they follow me.
Yeah, real quick, read that one more time, bro, real quick.
My sheep hear my voice, and I know them.
It says, my sheep hear my voice. Now, when you study sheep, they come in different colors, man. Black sheep, white sheep, a brown sheep. Okay? So the Lord's speaking about, different types of sheep. Go ahead, bro.
My sheep hear, and this is Yahweh Shai HaMashiach speaking in the red letter, my sheep hear my voice, and I know them, and they follow me. I give you unto eternal life, and they shall never perish, neither any man pluck them out of my hand. So that says eternal. That doesn't mean 1,000 years. Okay, so that knocks that doctrine right there.
You want to get the next one?
Right? And any man pluck them out of my hand. So whatever that you've gone through in your life to be able to get to this point, Yahweh Shai has preserved you to this point to be able to, whether it's to prophesy or if it's just to be a believer, right? This is John 10 and 29. My Father Yahweh, which gave them me, is greater than all, and no man is able to pluck them out of my Father's hand. Okay? So no one, because Yahweh Shai is the one that forms the light. Isaiah 45 and 7. He's the one that creates darkness. He's the one that heals. He's the one that puts down kings and lays up kings. And what's done? And what's the next rulership? Yahweh Shai HaMashiach. Why? Because why does this kingdom have to go down? Because all the abominations, right, of wickedness, right, that ill-gotten gains, rape, rob, and murder, slavery to the apple of Yahweh Shai's eyes.
And read that one more time. I'm going to real quick, bro.
Yeah. John 10 and 29. My Father, which gave them me, is greater than all, and no man is able to pluck them out of my Father's hand.
Right, stop right there. It says, neither shall a man pluck them out of my hand. This is Romans 8 and 35. Who shall separate us from the love of Hamashiach? Shall tribulation or distress or persecution or famine or nakedness or peril or sword, which is Esau, as it is written, for thy sake we are killed all the day long. We are accounted as sheep for the slaughter. Nay, in all these things we are more than conquerors through him that loved us. For I am persuaded that neither death, nor life, nor angels, nor principalities, nor powers, nor things present, nor things to come, nor height, nor depth, nor any other creature shall be able to separate us from the love of Yahweh Shai, man. Okay, so nobody's going to separate us, the true prophets of Yahweh Shai. We're always going to be abiding all the way unto the end, man.
Because
Let me get a precept from the comment board real quick. This is St. John 6 and 63. This is from the brother Shapal out there in Dallas. Shalom, Maki Yahweh Shemi Ashar Barakatah. And Yahweh Shemi Ashar Barakatah wa Atam to everybody tuning in, commenting and not commenting. This is St. John 6 and 63. It is the spirit that quickeneth, the flesh profited nothing. I'm going to read again. It is the spirit that quickeneth, the flesh profited nothing. The words that I speak unto you, they are spirit and they are life. You know?
That's right, because all this is spiritual. You know, like when the brother was bringing out far as, you know, no one can hold us against the truth, whatever that we were going through. Because they thought they could be able to, take away the Bible and, you know, take away the Bible, give you the slave Bible. They thought you could be able to, give you the hip-hop industry, to be able to give you, rape, rob, and murder. You know, having sex with another man's wife, you know, drug dealing, you know, and all different types of abominations, and have our people sell out for the, you know, that thug life mentality, that diva mentality, right? But all that stuff brought, a hopeful elect, you know, to be able to, get this word and have that understanding, which is all spiritual.
Because all what Esau is doing, man, is all for prophecy's sake, man. So when Esau pushes black culture, Chicano culture, man, that's ultimately going to help the prophets to edify the whole elect, man.
This is not the way. You know?
This is not the way. You know? 2 Corinthians 10 and 4. For weapons of warfare are not carnal.
For the weapons of our warfare are not carnal.
Yeah, because Esau Edom has the spiritual power to be cardinal. Okay, which he's gonna start doing. He's gonna start being more draconian, and he sees people are not listening. And he wants to bring in those FEMA camps, bring in those internment camps, and to be able to, you know, put his hands on people, right? For the weapons of warfare are not carnal, but mighty through Yahweh to the pulling down of strongholds. And that's what we're able to do right now, is able to pull down those strongholds. Again, you know, as far as the crossing out our Lord, making him a so-called white man, you know, calling us, you know, Catholics and 5% of the Nation of Islam, we're out here proclaiming that we are the Hebrew Israelites with the testimony of our spirit, the spirit of prophecy, which is the spirit of Yahweh Shai HaMashiach. Okay, so the 2 Corinthians 10 and 5, casting down imaginations and every high thing that exalts itself against the knowledge of our power Yahweh, and bringing into captivity every thought to obedience of HaMashiach.
That's power right there, man. And that's a perfect example of Hebrews 4 and 12. For the word of Yahweh is quick and powerful. So this truth holds ultimate power, man. To be able to bring down kingdoms and build up a new one, that's power. It says Hebrews 4 and 12, for the word of Yahweh is quick and powerful. Just like the brother Shapar brought out in the comment section, is that John 16:33, it is the spirit that quickeneth that goes into this sword, man. It says, for the word of Yahweh is quick and powerful and sharper than any two-edged sword, piercing even to the dividing asunder of soul and spirit, and of the joints and marrow, and is a discerner of the thoughts and intents of the mind.
Got a piece of the back you up. This is 2 Maccabees 15 to 14 down to 16. Then Onias answered, saying, this is a lover of the brethren, who prayed much for the people and for the holy city, to wit, Jeremiah, the prophet of Yahweh, talking about Jeremiah. Whereupon Jeremiah, holding forth his right hand, gave to Judas a sword of gold, and giving it spake thus. 2 Maccabees 15 and 16. Take this holy sword, a gift from Yahweh, which thou shalt wound the adversaries. And we'll read again. Take this holy sword.
This holy sword. Okay? It's not a cardinal sword. It's not a gun or a weapon. No, it's this is your sword right here.
Yep.
To be able to be with our true power.
Yeah, Judas Maccabees was given a sword as far as a physical sword from Jeremiah the prophet, but we're given this sword these last days as far as the sword of the spirit. That's talked about in Ephesians the 6th chapter. You know, I think it's about the 17th verse. You know, the sword of the spirit. You know, and we're taking this sword and we're wounding the adversaries. We're hewing down this man Esau Edom, the 2/3. You know, the council of the wicked, you know, the Bilderberg group, the Oppenheimers, the DuPonts, the Gettys, Facebook, YouTube, Google. We're slaying all of them through the sword of the spirit, you know? You want to get to Hosea 6 and 5 over the shop?
And how we know it's not a physical sword, because even David prophesied that not even his physical sword is going to save him. Real quick, Psalms 24 and 6. For I will not trust in my bow, neither shall my sword save me. That's a physical sword.
You want to start with 5?
God, this is Psalms 44 and 5. Through you will we push down our enemies.
Through who? Through Yahweh Bashim Yahshai. Through the word.
through thy name, we will tread them under that rise up against us.
So you gotta have the name, and the name has to be here, and you have to know the name, man. You gotta be calling on the name.
That's a real sword.
Yep.
Yeah, you can't be calling on Caesar Borgia.
The name is a strong
He
tower.
ain't gonna save you. He's actually gonna go after you.
Yep.
Yeah, the name, brother Ashba, the name is a strong tower to those that run into it are safe. Okay.
Hosea 4 and 5, bro. Hosea 5 and 6, brother.
I got Hosea, Hosea 6 and 5.
Let me get this real quick, and I'll finish this out. 2 Maccabees 15 and 16. Take this holy sword, a gift from the Most High, with the which thou shalt wound the adversaries. You know, and we're wounding the adversaries right now. You know, to the point where brothers are having to create backup channels, alternate media channels, as far as BitChute, Rumble, Odyssey, to get this word out, because Esau Edom's hurt. He's heard the report. You know, the chariots are coming up, popping up on his military bases. The elect are waking up. People are not believing the report of Esau Edom anymore. They're starting to, question this man. They're starting to look at this nigga sideways like something ain't adding up. And that's Yahweh Bashim Yahshua removing the wisdom and the demon, man. That's the book of prophecy.
And it's happening rapidly, man. Because again, when you read, what was that, First Maccabees? Second Maccabees, it says, take thee this holy sword. It's not just any sword, but it's a holy sword. That word holy means a separate sword, which is this truth, this knowledge, man.
Hosea 6 and 5. Therefore I have hewed them by the prophets, I have slain them by the words of my mouth, and let me read that again. Hosea 6 and 5.
Go into that word, hew.
Okay, come. Therefore have I hewn them by the prophets, I have slain them by the words of my mouth.
And we're the prophets of my mouth. We are the prophets, right? Hey, we're the hopefully elect. We pray we are those prophets, bro, because we're the only ones doing the work, man. Go ahead, bro. In spirit, because we have brothers scattered amongst the heathen all throughout Babylon the Great as well, who are prophesying the downfall of this devil right here, man. Go ahead, bro.
And thy judgments are as the light that goeth forth.
And Yahweh Bashim Yahshua is known by the judgment which he executed, man. Judgment and justice by the habitation of thy throne, Psalm 39 and 14.
Okay, so when you go into that word hewn, right? If you hewed, actually, I think it's
hew means to hew, no?
Yeah, therefore have I hewed. That was the whole thing. Yeah, you're right. You said it right. You're right. No, you said it right. Okay, Hebrew 26 and 72. To dig, to cleave, to divide, to hew, to make, to cut out, to dig out, to cut down, to quarry, hewer, mason. So that goes into what brother just brought out, Hebrews 4 and 12. This word is a cutting asunder. And what is that doing? It's cutting you either to the wicked side, which is the left side, okay, the vessel to dishonor, or cutting you to the right side, which is the vessel to honor.
Also, if you go down and start scrolling, it means to cut is wood, right? It's one of the definitions, I believe.
To hewn into pieces, to cut up to pieces, to hewn, be engraved.
Yep.
Okay. To be hewn into pieces. Oh yeah. So it says right here, stone, wood. So it's different types of way to be able to cut out.
And you gotta have a sharp sword to cut. What was that? The first one?
To
stone.
Dig.
To cut stone.
Yeah, stone.
Yeah.
Yep. And that's the power that Yahweh Shimon Shai has. Because what did he make when he made the Ten Commandments? He cut out a stone, you know what I mean? He had the laser, and that's the chariot. So the same technology that Esau Edom has, Yahweh Shimon Shai has 10 times even more.
Okay? Because you mentioned cutting Esau in pieces, right? Jeremiah 23 and 29, it's not my word like as a fire, saith Yahweh, and like a hammer that breaketh the rock in pieces. Hey, so this truth is also like unto a fire, man. Which is a cleansing agent either to purify you, to make you better, or for you to get destroyed, man, and get burned up by that physical fire, which is the ICD and missiles, man. So again, Jeremiah 23 and 29, it's not my word, who's the word? Yahweh Shai. Like as a fire, and was that fire the Rukakotash? I think that's the book of Hebrews, the 13th chapter, where it says how the angels are like ministers of fire, roughly paraphrasing. Saith Yahweh, and like a hammer. Now that word hammer actually translates to the name the Maccabees. That word Maccabees means a hammer, man. And we are those hammers, the prophets out here prophesying the downfall of Esau Edom, that breaketh the rock in pieces. Right? Who's that rock? We studied that word rock. In Spanish, it's known as piedra, which translates to petra, which is Esau Edom, man.
You got a piece of the back up on that point. When you go to Deuteronomy 32, real quick. real quick.
Yeah, because Washington D.C. is has the same monuments as far as Petra. Okay, has the same monuments. If you go back to ancient Petra, that's how Washington D.C. is shaped. Then you have the obliques, right? And then you have also over there in Memphis, Tennessee, where they're able to have the pyramids. Okay, showing you that these are all the
Las Vegas, the Luxor.
yeah, the Luxor. Yeah, these are all showing you that these are all the beast systems. This is the fourth beast, right? This is Rome 2.0. Okay, but it says the mystery of Babylon, as far as in the scriptures. But we know that it's America of this day. Okay.
This is to back you up on Esau, Edom, as far as the rock. Their rock is not our rock. This is Deuteronomy 32. Yep. I'm gonna start with 30. Yep. How should one chase 1,000 and two put 10,000 to flight?
Yeah, how is that possible, man?
Spiritual power.
Yep.
That's what's coming. It says, except their rock had sold them, and the Lord Yahweh Shai had shut them up. For their rock is not as our rock. And if you go into this first rock, it has lowercase r. The last rock has a capital R. That's talking about Yahweh Shai. The cornerstone. This is Deuteronomy 32 and 31. I'm going to start with 30. How shall one chase 1,000 and two put 10,000 to flight? And that should remind you of David and Samson. Also Saul, because Saul was able to actually put in a whole bunch of work with David as well. Before Yahweh Shai took the spirit off of him. This is Deuteronomy 32 and 30. How should one chase 1,000 and two put 10,000 to flight, except their rock, capital R, had sold them, and the Lord Yahweh Shai had shut them up. For their rock, lowercase r, is not as our rock, capital R. Even our enemies themselves being judges. And that goes into Esau, Edom, as far as him being him having Petra, which you're bringing up, him going, back up on the point of Petra.
Yeah, that word Petra means a rock or piedra.
Yep.
On the left-hand side, because on the right-hand side, that rock
Is Yahweh Shai.
is Yahweh Shai, but on the Yahweh Shai, who's that? That's Peter.
Yep.
Peter means the rock. Okay, on the right-hand side, and his men, we're also like onto a rock too, man.
Yep, and their rock is not as our rock. Just have to back up on that point. Sirach 28 and 17, to back you up on the word being a sword, and it's hewing Esau, Edom to pieces, man. For death and life is in the power of the tongue. Proverbs 18 and 21. Proverbs, Sirach 28 and 17, the stroke of the whip maketh marks in the flesh, but the stroke of the tongue breaketh the bones. This word is powerful, man. This word is able to move mountains, man. Through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shai, this word is putting the spirit on Esau, Edom to be afraid, man. We're looked at as, unlearned men. Certain men within Israel like to call us being unscholarly, so on and so forth, uneducated. But they looked at Peter and John the same way.
Acts the 4th chapter.
Acts the 4th chapter in the 13th verse. When they saw the boldness of Peter and John, I just let the brother bring it out.
Bring it out, bro.
Oh, you got it?
You got something? Bring it out.
Bring it out.
Okay, this
We're building that rock.
Acts of the Apostles, chapter 4 and verse 13. Now, when they saw the boldness of Peter and John and perceived that they were unlearned and ignorant men, they marveled. And they took knowledge of them that they had been with Yahweh Shai. And that's how these people of the world see us, man. Ignorant, okay, as filth, pursuant to Proverbs 44 and 14. How, the nation sees us as an astonishment of proverb, man. But Yahweh Shai sees us in a different perspective, man. He sees us as his anointed, his chosen, man. That's what we're learned men of Yahweh Shai's wisdom, knowledge, and understanding.
To back up on that point, real quick. I got one real quick, the hot boy. Jeremiah 51 and 20. Thou art my battle axe, and weapons of war, for with thee will I break in pieces the nations, and with thee will I destroy kingdoms.
Yeah, and that's where the economy is collapsing. America, Babylon the Great is at an all-time high for their debt. What is it now? $30 trillion.
which that's prophecy in the book of Habakkuk, the second chapter. Yeah, mere clay, heavy debt, and also the debt that having us in captivity. You know, they still have us in captivity for all the rape, rob, and murder they have done. Okay, and because of all those.
And it goes back to the law as far as he that stealeth a man, and if he shall be found in his hand, surely that man shall be put to death. And this man stole us off the shores of West Africa, you know, then called us Hamites, stole our people from this land, started sending them over to Europe, Asia Minor, you know, called them natives and Hispanics, you know, so on and so forth. And that goes back to the curses, man, you know.
Yeah, so how is Esau going to pay back that debt? Because when you go into that, if you're a studious brother, you know, Esau owes, you know, Hong Kong, he owes, you know, China, he owes all these different nations a lot of money. But Yahweh Bashim try to say that the only way you're going to pay back that debt is to what? It's this Numbers 35 and 33.
Yep.
So ye should not pollute the land wherein ye are, for blood is defiled the land.
Yep.
And the land cannot be cleansed of the blood that is shed therein, but by the blood of him that shed it. So the only way to pay back your debt, Esau, man, you're going to have to, you know, get put to death, man, after 1,000 years of captivity, man. And that's known as a righteous judgment of Yahweh Bashim Shai, man. Yeah, because 2 Thessalonians 1 and 6 is a righteous thing, what, to recompense your enemies. Recompense means what? Repay. Repay all the debt that you owe, the mere clay. So this is Exodus 21 and 16. Brother Osh brought this out. Exodus 21 and 16. He that stealeth the man and selleth him.
He that stealeth a man, they selleth him, man. You know, and when they do that, the transatlantic slave trade, the sub-Saharan slave trade, and that's talked about in the book of Joel, the 3rd chapter. You know, Tyre and Zidon and the coast of Palestine, who sold us to the Grecians, they sold us to Esau Edom, man. And the Grecians were the Edomites, as far as Amalek, because Amalek had a monopoly on wood back in the day. You know, back in the 14, 15, and 16, and 1700s, man. You know?
Exodus 21 and 16. He stealeth the man and selleth him, or if he be found in his hand, and are we in his hand? Yep. He surely shall be put to death. Okay? And that's the same thing that Yahweh Bashim Shai told Pharaoh in the book of Genesis, I think that's the book of Exodus, let my people go. And that's what's happening to this modern day Pharaoh. He don't want to let Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans go away from this wicked ass system, man.
He don't even want to let, he doesn't even want to let us call us by our true name, which is Hebrew Israelites, man. Yeah. He wants us to stay those dry bones. You know, that's also the book of Revelation, you know, the 11th chapter.
Yeah.
They didn't want their sufferers not to be put in graves, you know. This is Sirach 21 and 8. He that buildeth his house with other men's money is like one that gathereth himself stones for the tomb of his burial. I'm going to read it again, because that's what this man did. He built his house with other men's money. Rape, robbery, murder, slavery, gold mining, diamond mining, you know, digging the natural resources out of the earth. When Christopher Columbus came over here with his goons, what did he do? He started stealing the natural resources from the Americas and making the indigenous people here dig and dig and dig and dig for gold, diamonds, and so on and so forth. And if you didn't dig enough gold or diamonds or so on and so forth, they would hack off your limbs, man. And that's known in the history books, man. You can go Google it, man. And that shows that this man is the devil, man. You know, because only a devil would do that, man. You know.
Because that's what a Make America Great is all about. Us going back into going to even more captivity to be under that Karama, that graven image of that forehead or in your hand. Okay?
That's a white crew. Yeah, you got Issachar and Zebulon selling these bacon wrapped hot dogs all around us, man. When I was in the ward, I used to ride with these guys sometimes.
Every Sunday.
Here and there. You know, my boy, I still keep in contact with him here and there. I still see him. He still rides with these guys.
So real quick, as the brother mentioned how, you know, Esau Edom has stolen a lot of resources from so-called Negroes
Latinos, Native Americans, and that's in the law, thou shalt not steal.
Yep.
And now what Yahweh Shemel is doing, he's letting Esau Edom, okay, be on top for a little while so that he can ultimately bring him down. And a good example is Revelation 18:5, for her sins have reached unto heaven, and Yahweh has remembered her iniquities. And that her is speaking about a mystery of Babylon the Great, which is here in America, man. Yahweh Shemel is remembering the iniquities of Esau Edom.
Remember what Amalek did? You know, that's in the law. And what did Amalek do? You know, they came and basically waged war against us when we came out of the land of Egypt, man. You know? And also, when we were looking, you know, to basically set up our little thing over there in the shores of West Africa, they sent Tyre and Zidon and the Arabs to round us up. You know?
I got you, bro. Deuteronomy 25 and 17. Remember what Amalek did unto you by the way, when you were come forth out of Egypt.
Yep. This is actually one of the laws.
Yeah, that's in the law.
Yeah, that's in the law. I think it's 613, the law. I think it's 611, 612, 1613, which is remember what Amalek did, and also what to take out all Amalek. I think it's 613.
Where you want to get out Deuteronomy 32?
Yeah, as far as the law, you know what I mean? Because brothers are saying they want to keep the law, so
you gotta remember.
You gotta remember that.
So if you're really you're boasting about the law,
You're supposed to get on Amalek, man.
Amalek. They have Amalek too, according to the law.
Yeah. So when you're being worldly, that means you're going with Amalek. And then also with these other kids, where they have the 501c3, so they have a joint contract to not tell the truth. So you're not remembering Amalek.
Thou shalt make no covenants with them.
And not to follow what a multitude of sinners.
Yeah, Exodus.
Exodus 23.
Deuteronomy 32 and 7.
I'll read one more time, verse 9. Deuteronomy 25 and 17. Remember what Amalek did unto you by the way, when you were come forth out of Egypt, how he met thee by the way and smote the hindmost of you, even all that were feeble behind thee, when thou wast faint and weary, and he feared not Yahweh.
Yep, and that happened in Exodus the 17th chapter. You know, and at the end of the chapter it says Yahweh had sworn that he will have war with Amalek from generation to generation, and that warfare is being played out on the unicorn right now. That's spiritual warfare, man. And Esau Edom, Amalek is losing the spiritual battle.
I got one more slide to go. Exodus 17 and 14. And the Lord said unto Moses, write this for a memorial in a book. Right, the book of the law, the Torah, the Torah.
Yep.
And rehearse it in the years of Joshua. For I will utterly put out the remembrance of Amalek from under heaven. And Moses built an altar and called the name of it Yahweh Nasa. For he said, because the Lord has sworn that Yahweh will have Amalek, war with Amalek from generation to generation, man. And that's happening right now, man. We're still at war with the so-called white men, especially the so-called Jewish, man.
Yeah, because Amalek is the head tribe of the Edomites, which are the banksters of this world, the elite, the wicked. Okay, the Rothschilds, the Rockefellers, the Oppenheimers, the DuPonts, the Clintons, the Soros.
This is the elect of Esau.
Yeah, you know, this is the one that's going to be in the cave, and Lord willing, where all those men.
Well, they're the elect on the left hand side because they're gonna be able to be preserved through the destruction as far as the first dominion on the left hand side of slavery, man. And this is the first round draft picks of slavery, man.
VIP tickets.
You got VIP. Be special, Esau.
Yeah.
Be special, Amalek.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
We got special chains and whips just for you.
Yep. It's just like they put us in the draft pick and the lottery, and the best athlete or whatever.
The same thing to
That's
them
the
in
same thing.
You know, Deuteronomy 32 and 7. Remember the days of old. Consider the years of many generations.
Yeah, so the reason the brother Ash is bringing this precept out is because in the book of Deuteronomy 25 it says what? Remember Amalek. So it's a commandment, and it's a sin. If you don't remember, okay, Amalek, man, you're going off. You're supposed to remember the enemy. Go ahead, bro.
And also Ezekiel 35 and 2, set thy face against Mount Seir and prophesying against it.
That's another commandment.
Yep. You know?
Which is Esau Edom. Okay.
Go ahead, bro.
Yep. Edom dealt in Seir, you know, so on and so forth.
Yep.
This is I think that might be
Well, I got the one in Genesis 36.
Yeah, that's all good. This is Deuteronomy 32 and 7. Remember the days of old, consider the years of many generations. Ask thy father, and he will show thee thy elders, and they will tell thee.
So you got to look into the scriptures. Our ancestors, Joshua, Caleb, Job, showing them Moses, Aaron, man, these are examples of our ancestors, our elders, man. And ultimately it says, well, ask thy father. Who's our father? Yahweh. So how do you search Yahweh through the scriptures, man?
Through Yahweh Shah.
Through Yahweh Shah.
And through the prophets, through the men who've been given the message, man. You know? That's 1 Samuel 9 and 9, you know? The former man went to go inquire of Yahweh. He went to go to the seers. The seers are the prophets, man.
Yeah, I got you.
This is Sirach 21 and 8. He that buildeth his house with other men's money, and that's what the so-called white man did. He built America off of slave money, rape, robbery, and murder, killing and stealing.
Which is our money.
You know, because the gold belongs to Yahweh Bashim Yahshai, and the silver belongs to Yahweh Bashim Yahshai. And us being joint heirs, it directly belongs to us. Also, he belongs to us. If you want to take it one step further, man, because the heathen are going to be our eternal workforce in the kingdom, man.
Because that's true rulership is having slaves.
Yep.
That's what Esau,
absolute power, man.
Yep, absolute power. Because so you see these boxers and things like, or just the people, the boxers, the NBA players, and you see them. Okay, you think that they're rich, but they're not because they don't have slaves. They're getting butt break meat by Esau Edom constantly. They always have to do certain sins, especially the elite. Like Michael Jordan, LeBron James. They can never actually speak their truth.
They made a covenant with death.
Yep, that Psalms.
Isaiah, I want to say, it's in the book Isaiah.
And it says, Psalms 55 and 20, where it says that Esau, he always breaks his covenant. So this is Psalm 17 and 13. This is King David was speaking about, arise, O Yahweh Shem Ashai, disappoint him, cast him down, deliver my soul from the wicked, which is thy sword. And Esau Edom has been given that sword, referring to Genesis 27 and 40. He's been given the fatness of the earth, right, which are the best places, and he's been given what? He has to live by his sword.
You in the book of Psalms?
This is yes.
You want to get 37 and 37 over the show? Psalm 37 and 37? While you're getting that, I'm going to get this. Let me finish this out. Sirach 21 and 8. He that buildeth his house with other men's money is like one that gathereth himself stones for the tomb of his burial. This is the point right here. This is telling you who did this. The congregation of the wicked. That's just telling you who built his town with other men's money. Esau Edom, the wicked. Pursuant to Malachi 1 and 3 and 4 and Job 9 and 24.
And even Apostle Paul referenced that in Romans the 9th chapter in the 13th verse.
Yep. Also, on the book of 2 Thessalonians, and then shall thou wicked be revealed?
Yep.
The wicked is being revealed right now. Yahweh Bashim Yahshai is making Esau bare. He has nowhere to hide. There's nowhere to run. We found you out, man. And we're calling you out. Telling you to your face who you are. And telling you to your face your demise.
And that's why he wants to take away what? Critical race theory, telling the truth. That's why you have, as far as them taking down the statues, right? They took down the statues as far as all these slave owners. And you saw, the one, I think it's Eisenhower, where you had servants walking.
Roosevelt.
Yeah, Roosevelt.
Yeah.
What?
That's Ecclesiastes 10 and 7. For I've seen servants upon horses and princes walking as servants upon the earth. That's a biblical prophecy. That's talking about us, man.
Because on one side you had, real quick, on one side you had, the northern tribe, which was, you had Gad, and then on the left side you had Judah. Okay?
And if you look at that statue, Gad has the gun upside down, and that's symbolic of I'm not going to fight for you. If you take it one step further,
You said Ecclesiastes 7?
10 and 7. Let me get this real quick. Sirach 21 and 9, the congregation of the wicked is like tow wrapped together, and the end of them is a flame of fire to destroy them. And that's in the Apocrypha. That's in the Old Testament. This book is deep, man.
That's deep.
Yeah, this book is basically the listing order of rulerships and kingdoms, man. And its prophecies, laws, statutes, commandments, orders, instructions. It's our history book, man.
Kingdoms being put up and put down, and at the end there's one kingdom that shall stand forever. That's the kingdom of Yahweh Shem Ashai. And the Hebrew Israelites, those that remnant, that are joint heirs, the elect that are going to be saved, are going to have a rulership over all the nations.
And this book also talks about our vast future, man. We have a very, 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 very vast future ahead of us, man.
And that's there's a word for it, it's known as the word eschatology. Eschatology, it says the part of theology concerned with death, judgment, and the final destiny of the soul and of humankind. So the Bible is a book of eschatology, man. You know, the study of the end times. Okay, like we always bring out the protagonist and the antagonist. Who's gonna receive that victory? The protagonist, man. Okay, which is who the prophets, the men of Yahweh Shemel Shai, and ultimately all glory and power to Yahweh Shemel Shai, man.
You got that Psalm 37 and 37?
Yeah. I was gonna start.
So we want.
I started from. This is deep, right? Psalms 37 and 29. The righteous shall inherit the land and dwell therein forever. So that's not for 1,000 years.
And who's the righteous? The nation of Israel starting with the elect. You know, because all Israel shall be saved, but salvation starts with the elect. And to take it one step further, salvation starts in the minds of the elect. You know, you've got to believe in the report, and you got to believe that, you know, you have the truth. And you got to believe that, you know, Yahweh Shem Yahshua will preserve you to the end. You know?
Yeah, you gotta have faith. You know, you gotta have faith. Again, the brother always says from Birmingham, you know, this is not for the faint-hearted. You know, for the people that are wavering back and forth. Oh, okay, I'm gonna stack up my 401k. I'm gonna, you know, I'm gonna buy some land and put people there. I'm gonna hand out food to the community, and then that's gonna be how you get saved. No, how you get saved is believing the report, believing in Yahweh Shai HaMashiach, right? And rehearsing the righteous acts, which is doing the works.
The scriptures in the gospel says receive, not in the New Testament, but it says receive with meekness, I believe, the engrafted word.
Able to save your souls.
Able to save your souls, man.
Yeah, because that's what we ultimately want, is to be able to save our souls. Victory over death. And the only person that can offer you that is Yahweh Shai. Okay?
See the fall of our enemy,
Yeah,
man.
and to see the fall
The
of our
slap
enemy.
chains on Esau Edom.
Yeah.
To crack him with the whip. Wow. Get back to work, boy. You know?
And those are extras.
Yeah.
On top to see your enemy, you know what I mean? To see your, you know, finally Esau Edom, you know, with his proud looks and his deceit finally being, because right now he's being exposed. Yeah, he's being abased. You know, we're seeing him being exposed at a lower level, but you know, in that time, right? So Psalms 37 and 30, the mouth of the righteous speaketh wisdom, and his tongue talketh of judgment. That's what we're out here doing, telling Esau Edom his judgment.
And this wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times and strength of your salvation. The fear of the Lord is his judgment. You know?
Yep. Wait 1 second.
That's the car, Zebulon. Check that bike. Jake got the jalapeno. That's all. That's mostly Jake right there, because you see the bikes is all checked out. You know, Jake loves checking out the bike. Jake loves checking out the cars and so on and so forth, man.
So this is Psalms 37 and 30. The mouth of the righteous speak wisdom, and his tongue talketh of the judgment. And that's also judgment for these other heathen nations, right? And also judgment for 2/3 of our people, those that don't fear Yahweh Shema Shai. They're not going to be stable in the time of Jacob's trouble. They're not going to be stable in the hour of temptation when Esau Edom comes in with that graven image like Karagma, okay, which is in your forehead and your hand.
Psalms 9 and 16, real quick. The Lord Yahweh Shem Shai is known by the judgment which he executed. The wicked is snared in the work of his own hand. Higgy on Salah. And Yahweh Shem Shai is known by the judgment, man, which he executed. That's how his name was able to be famous back in the day. And Yahweh Shem Shai is glorifying his name. You know, John 12 and 28, Father, glorify thy name.
No, he was known as the El Shaddai, okay, which is a demon-like power, which means he has the intelligence to take out whatever strength that you think you have. He's the one that formed you.
Joshua, it's the book of Joshua, you know, 9 and 9. You have heard the fame of him for what he did in Egypt?
Yeah, Khan, and that was
Ezekiel 39:21, going into judgment, right?
Yep.
And I will set my glory among the heathen, and all the heathen shall see my judgment that I have executed, and my hand that I have laid upon them. And what is that hand? The right side of Yahweh, which is Yahweh Shai, man. So Yahweh Shai is going to be that death angel, man, executing judgment all throughout the bones of the earth, pursuant to the book of Ezekiel, the 9th chapter, starting with the house of Israel, man.
because he's known as what, the destroyer. Yahweh Shai is known as the destroyer, right?
John 12 and 28, real quick. Father, glorify thy name. Then came there a voice from heaven saying, I have both glorified it and will glorify it again. And that glorifying is starting out with us coming out to the highways and byways and us doing lessons, man, to glorify the name of Yahweh Shem Yahshua before he cracks the sky. You know, so the elect can be sealed, and so those that are marked for judgment can hear the word and be judged for not hearkening to the word, man. You know, you seen us on the highways and byways. You walk by, too bad, man. You know, you heard a few precepts coming out. You didn't stop. You didn't inquire. Well, that was your calling right there, man. You know, and he just sent lowly-looking men out to the highways and byways. You know,
Unlearned men.
unlearned men. You know, men who don't have a theologian degree. We may not have the best vocabulary. We may stutter words. We may, you know, slur here and there. You know, because we're living in imperfect flesh. But through the Spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yahshua, we'll be given perfect understanding of the word. You know, the true 100% unadulterated truth.
And that's what the Pharisees were telling Yahushua. So any good thing come out of Nazareth? Nazareth, it was like kind of like the ghetto. And that's what we're filming from, you know, the ghettos of barrios, known as unlearned man. But Yahweh Shem Yahshua has given us the true understanding of who he is, man.
Take it one step further. Moses.
Oh, man.
Moses, he wasn't fluent in Hebrew because he grew up as an Egyptian, you know. But who did he have? His brother Aaron.
His right side.
Yep.
And real quick, because the brother Shemach, he mentioned the word destroyer. So when you go into the book of Exodus 12 and 23, it says a destroyer is an agent employed in the killing of the firstborn, the destroying angel or messenger of Yahweh.
Yeah, and that goes in Ezekiel 9 and 4. When in Egypt, you know, I think it was Moses where he told Pharaoh that all the first sons were going to be killed, all the first men. And what did? They put a mark on the door. Then that was that blood, right? And that's the same thing right now through Yahweh Shem Yahshua. So all these people that are walking by, mocking and scoffing, or just not inquiring, they're actually getting marked right now. You know, which is not going to be anything to
I want to back you up, bro. Exodus 12 and 12. For I will pass through the land of Egypt this night, and I will smite all the firstborn in the land of Egypt, both man and beast, and against all the gods of Egypt I will execute judgment. I am Yahweh. Hey, so that's going to happen, and it's happening daily, man. Like the brother Osh, he brought out how the Lord executes judgment daily, man. So that's happening 24/7.
Yep. You know, this is Wisdom of Solomon 18. To back you guys up on that point, I'm going to read 11 down to 16. Yep.
kind of fire. We got Nelly going.
Some 50-year-old looking, he might be Jake. He might be, you know.
Irish.
Yeah. That's crazy, man. This is Wisdom of Solomon 18:11. Yep. The master and the servant were punished after one manner, and like as the king, so suffered the common person. Wisdom of Solomon 18 and 12. You can break it down or whatever. Either your brothers or I can break it down. So they all together, and one innumerable dead with one kind of death, neither were the living sufficient to bury them, for in one moment the noblest offspring of them was destroyed. Talking about ancient Egypt. When Yahushua went to go visit ancient Egypt. This is talking about. Let's get into it. Wisdom of Solomon 18 and 13. For whereas they would not believe anything by reason of the enchantments, because Yahweh Yahushua sent the plagues of Egypt, plagues upon Egypt. You know, before he destroyed and killed the firstborn, man. You know, this is Wisdom of Solomon 18 and 13. For whereas they would not believe anything by reason of the enchantments upon the destruction of the firstborn, acknowledge this people to be the sons of Yahweh, the sons of the living power. And that same type of destruction is coming back to Babylon the Great. You know, you want to get, this is 2nd Ezra 15, I think it's about 12.
Because right now it's an adoption right now. Those are those that are given the promise. And the line goes to Abraham, Abraham, Isaac, Jacob. And Jacob had 12 sons, and through the line of Israel, right, sons of the power, and you have the 12 tribes, all coming back to one accord, right, following Yahweh Shem Yahshua.
This is 2nd Ezra chapter 15 and verse 11. But I will bring them with a mighty hand and a stretched out arm,
and smite Egypt with plagues as before.
Will smite Egypt with plagues as before. This is talking about Babylon the Great. Spiritual Sodom and Egypt. Can you read that again from the top?
God, this is 2nd Ezra chapter 15 and verse 11. But I will bring them with a mighty hand,
With a mighty hand, Yahweh Shai.
and a stretched out arm,
Yep.
and smite Egypt with plagues as before.
Will smite Egypt with plagues as before. That's not talking about ancient Egypt. It's talking about modern day Egypt. You know, Egypt in the Hebrew means Montessorium, house of bondage. But we're still in bondage, man. Still in captivity. Our people walking around not knowing who they are, man. Looking at us bugged out like we're the bug outs, but they're the bug outs, man. You still have a covering of black consciousness, man. Still thinking you go back to Kemet and shit, man.
That veil is
You know?
still over a lot of our people. That's why we're still out here to give our people warning, because the gospel has to be spread on the four corners of the earth.
Walking around with your nose up, speaking Portuguese and Spanish, not knowing where you got it from and who you got it from, and why you're speaking that language. That goes back to the curses, man. You know?
And also that proud spirit.
Yep.
You know, a lot of people out here are proud. They'll give you a look, and they're like, what are they doing there? You know what I mean? We're trying to make our call on election sure, and we're actually trying to give you warning.
Yep.
Whether you will hear or you will forget.
We're doing you a favor, man.
Yeah.
We're showing you love.
Yeah, we're showing. That's right. That's
True love.
yeah. That's what's that? John 21 and 17. If you love me, feed my sheep. Okay? Because love doesn't mean, hey, I gave you something. Love means I get
Hugs and
yeah.
kisses
It means
and
rebuke.
Valentine's Day, you know?
Yeah, rebuke. I tell you the name. I say, follow this wise counsel. Follow the instructions. Okay, that's actually love.
Yeah, open rebuke is better than secret love, man.
Sirach 15 and 1, to back you up on the point, he that feareth the Lord will do good, and he that hath knowledge of the law shall obtain her. Who's her? Wisdom, Sophia.
Yeah, that's to back that up, Deuteronomy the 4th chapter, where it says, "For this is your wisdom and your understanding
In the sight of the
in the
nation.
sight of the nations, man." That wisdom is Sophia, which is like unto a woman, because a woman comforts you, man.
Yep. Sirach 15 and 2, and as a mother shall she meet him, and receive him as a wife married of a virgin. With the bread understanding shall she feed him, and give him the water of wisdom to drink. The word, the understanding, the breath. This is Wisdom of Solomon 8 and 13, 8 and 14. For while all things were in quiet silence, at that night was in the midst of her swift course. This is the point right here. Wisdom of Solomon 18 and 15.
Yeah, because Yahweh Shai came as a thief in the night, like
Yep.
it says in the gospel. That's going to happen again.
Watch as well as pray. Watch for the signs, as far as the prophecies.
Wisdom of Solomon 18 and 15. Thine almighty word leap down from heaven out of thy royal throne as a fierce man of war into the midst of a land of destruction. I'm
Yeah,
going to read it again.
that's Exodus 15 and 3. Yahweh is the man of war.
Yep.
Yahweh Shai is his name.
Yep.
Al-Shadia, or the demon-like powers, goes into intelligence, man.
Yep. And who's the word? Yahweh Shai. And it says, Wisdom of Solomon 18 and 15, thine almighty, capital A, word leap down from heaven out of thy royal throne as a fierce man of war in the midst of a land of destruction, and brought thine unframed commandment as a sharp sword, and standing up filled all things with death, and it touched the heaven, but it stood upon the earth. And that's what he's going to do when he cracks the sky and he comes back to modern day Egypt. He's going to fill all things with death in the form of everybody that doesn't have the Tawah, or everybody that's not a first crop of slavery, like these guys right here, who are going to be hiding in bunkers. They're going to be filled with death. And you're going to have a lot of Jakes who died of famine, a lot of Jakes who died of, Jake on Jake violence when they shut the grocery stores down, and all anarchy breaks loose. You're going to have a lot of people eating their own kids.
Yeah.
Cannibalism's coming back. The food prices are rising like crazy.
Yeah.
A pack of chicken wings that was $5 a year ago, the little spicy chicken wings that we were talking about.
We were talking about it.
The little spicy chicken wings that are already pre-seasoned, the ones in bonds, they're selling them just for like $5 last
Yeah,
year.
that's known as hyperinflation.
They want $16 now.
God damn, what the hell?
Yeah. I was about to get some the other day. I was like,
You might as well just make it at home.
My chef on real quick, man. You know, because what I do is I'll buy the, sometimes I'll buy the seasoned chicken wings.
Right.
I'll wash some of the season off, some of it's good. And then I'll make the lemon pepper, you know what I'm saying, from scratch. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But that same pack of chicken that was $6.25 at the most last year for like 15, 16 wings, good amount of wings, that joint's like $7, $8 now.
Yeah, I say nowhere at the end, man.
You know, and it took a while for me, for brothers to notice that those food prices in the stores are starting to rise up in California.
Yeah.
For a while we weren't feeling that, but now you go to the stores, the same packs of steaks that were like 3 for like 12, they were like $24 for that joint now, man.
That's
You know?
right there.
And
That's happening.
that's Yahweh Shem Yahshai sending the evil arrows of famine.
And that's all
You know?
part of also Esau Edom's plan.
Yep.
The Novus Order Secorium, the New World Order, to what? To kill the fiat currency, which is
starve you into submission.
Yep.
You know?
To kill that paper dollar, to bring in his central bank CBD central banking digital currency, so ultimately he can hit it with the EMP, right? And then ultimately he can bring in the Caragna. Okay, because they want you under subjection. That's one of the one world currency, one world military, one world government. Okay, this is Psalms 2 and 11. Serve the Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai. Yeah.
Let's start from the top. Let's get all the meat off.
Okay,
the bone, man.
come.
Let's get
Yeah,
the whole
yeah.
chapter. Let's let him get this first in the meat. Okay, you know what I'm saying? So that's going into the wicked, you know, because it says, why did I heathen rage? Why did the heathen rage? And the people imagine the vain thing. That's their new world order.
Yeah, that's exactly. That's great. Yeah, that's the spirit.
So going back to 2nd Ezra 15 and 11, but I will bring them with a mighty hand and a stretched out arm and smite Egypt with plagues as before. Now, we understand that that's not speaking about ancient Egypt, because when Ezra wrote these various prophecies, that was around 500 BC.
And Egypt was already destroyed.
Khan. It says, and will destroy all the land thereof. Verse 12. Egypt shall mourn, was modern day Egypt, America. And the foundations of it shall be smitten with the plague and punishment that Yahweh shall bring upon it. Man, that's happening. Famine of the word, tradition amongst men, earthquakes in diverse places. Okay, different animals, sea creatures, fowls of the earth, dropping dead, man.
To back you up on that point, Revelation 11 and 7, and when they have finished their testimony, talking about the two witnesses,
The spirit of prophecy.
yep, the son of the northern kingdom, and it says, Revelation 11 and 3, and I will give power unto my two witnesses, and they shall prophesy 1,203 days clothed in sackcloth.
Yeah, because according to the law, out of the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses, shall every word be established, man.
Yep.
So we're judging Esau Edom based upon 2 or 3 witnesses, which is the southern and the northern kingdom.
It also backs it up in 2 Corinthians, out of the mouth of truth and witness, out of the mouth of truth and witnesses, every word shall be established. Let me get that real quick. This is 2 Corinthians 13 and 1. This is the 3rd time I am coming to you in the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses.
It says there's a 3rd time, right? That's understanding.
Yep, beautiful. 2 Corinthians 13 and 1. This is the 3rd time I'm coming to you. In the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses shall every word be established. You know? This is the book of Revelation 11 and 7. And when they have finished their testimony, the 2 witnesses, who Yahweh Shem Yahshai is giving power in these last days.
Yeah, I got
The beast that ascended out of the bottomless pit, that bottomless pit is Europe, you know, and the beast is NATO, the EU, and Babylon the Great. Rome 2.0, you know, the Greco-Roman Empire revived. And that's what we're prophesying against. We're prophesying against Esau Edom, the beast, his mark, his image, his name, you know, and the elect are going to get victory over all of it, man. Revelation the 15th chapter.
Before you go into white blue heathen rage,
Yep.
start at Acts 14:3 verse.
This is Revelation 11 and 7. And when they have finished their testimony, talking about the 2 witnesses, the beast that ascended out of the bottomless pit shall make war against them. And that's talked about in the book of Revelation, the 12th chapter. You know, real quick. Revelation 12 and 17. And the dragon was wroth with the woman, that woman is Israel, to make war with the remnant of her seed, the remnant is the elect, which keep the commandments of Yahweh and have the testimony of Yahweh Shai HaMashiach. Those men that have the testimony of Yahweh Shai HaMashiach are the prophets, you know, the seers.
It also says in 2nd Ezra, what is that, 16 and about 68, there shall be a great
insurrection upon those that fear the Lord.
That's right.
You know?
And those that don't bow down to that image, because there's going to be many idols. And one of those idols is what? That karagma.
Yep.
Okay? So in these different camps, that's going to be your thing. They're going to hold your child. They're going to hold your woman. You know, to be able to have you, what? Bow down to this image of the beast.
And Yahweh Shimon Shai reserved 7,000 men, a complete number of men that are not going to bow down, man. And some are going to have to be martyrs. That's a part of the story, man.
That's an honorable death.
But that's an honorable death in Yahweh Shimon Shai, you know?
That's a crown upon your head.
You know?
Okay, so that's how you have to look at it. The things that are here are what? They're temporal. Okay? And the things
We're striving for things that are eternal.
That's why our conversation, I think that's Philippians 3 and 20, where our conversation is in heaven. And that's also in the Father's prayer in Matthew 6. Okay, where it speaks about our conversations in heaven. We're praying for better days, which is going to be on earth, right?
So we finish this real quick. Revelation 11:7, and when they have finished their testimony, the beast that is sent out of the bottomless pit shall make war against them, and shall overcome them and kill them. And their dead bodies shall lie in the street of the great city, which spiritually is called Sodom and Egypt, where also our Lord was crucified. And our Lord wasn't physically crucified here, but he was crucified by the same people who were running this society, the Romans. And they crucified his image, making him a hippie-looking white boy,
Yeah. So
painting the Heavenly Father,
this image in the middle,
to be a white man, making the angels naked white babies. That's blasphemy, man.
Yeah.
You know, and they gotta pay for that, man. And that's talking about the book of Revelation, 13th chapter.
The angels are known as they're brass, they're brown.
Men of war.
Yeah,
They're
not white babies.
they're stern-looking, austere black men with afros and beards, man.
Take you up, because that word angel in the Greek translates to the word messenger. And we just broke it down in Exodus 12th chapter. And that word angel means angelos, the water, bro. It actually means an agent or a hitman that executes judgment, man.
Yep. Fire.
And who's the top one?
Yahweh
Shai, the captain. If you go
capital A.
into Joshua the 5th chapter real quick.
And who's on the back of Yahweh Shai? The archangel Michael, which is the war angel.
That's Daniel the 12th chapter. So it's gonna get so bad out here that even the angel Michael's gonna have to come and protect us, man. The angel of war, Michael Allah.
If you go into Joshua the 5th chapter, it talks about Yahweh Shai being the captain of the host. It says right here, I'll bring in real quick. Right here. You see right here, right by my finger, it says the captain of the hosts of the Lord. Let's read this.
And that word host means the armies.
Yep, the captain of the armies.
You know what's the army? 144,000 men.
Yep. Come. This is Joshua 5 and 13 real quick. Joshua 5 and 13. Let me get Revelation 13 and 6. I'll write it up. And he opened his mouth in blasphemy against the Most High to blaspheme his name and his tabernacle and them that dwell in heaven. And that's what he did through iconoclasm. You know? And that shows you who did it, man. That shows you who's the beast. That shows you who's the wicked. That shows you who's the dragon. Because who's the one that did this, man? You know, the so-called Heavenly Father doesn't look like a so-called Chinese man. He doesn't look like an Arab, towelhead or a red dot person, man. He doesn't look like a dude who's thinking ass Hamite. He looks like a so-called white man, man.
Even a tranny, because what Esau did, he turned, the Heavenly Father into a so-called tranny.
Yeah, that's what he did.
And a good example is the Elamites too, man.
He portrayed him to be that, to his people. And that's the spirit of confusion.
And that's the deity, the Baphomet,
Yep.
right? Which is a beast. Yeah, Baphomet, which is a
man and a woman,
and a beast.
Yep. This is the god of the Elamites. He and she is known as Sheba, the god of destruction on the left-hand side, man, which goes into Esau.
And so in Job 9 and 24, he covered. He covered the face.
You got gangster disciples out here, dude. You see dude with the 6-pointed star. Yeah, that star Rico, he's probably a gang member, most likely. He's not. He don't even know. You can tell, but he ain't got no fringes. He's walking around, got the hat cocked to the right.
He's a star. Yeah. That's all it is. Wait, Job, real quick. Job 9 and 24. The earth is given to the hands of the wicked, right? And that's Esau, Edom. He covered the faces of the judges thereof. When the brother Ash is bringing that out, that iconoclasm. After that 1,000-year period of him getting that headshot, he came back in about the 1300s, which is the Renaissance era, which is the rebirth. What? The rebirth of the Roman Empire. And
that's why this man always likes to start out with Greek civilization. He doesn't talk about what happened before Greek civilization, because according to him, nothing was civilized before the Greeks came into power. You know,
Which we were actually in power, the
yeah,
Israelites.
the
Okay?
Dark Ages.
The Dark Ages, right?
After the Greeks and the Romans, better yet. He'll skip over the
Byzantine Empire.
he'll skip over the Byzantine Empire, and he'll skip over all the other people who were in power before him. The Syrians, the Babylonians, the Philistines, and so on and so forth. You know,
Which is over 1,000 years of history that Israel has skipped.
the Persian Median Empire. You know, he just goes right to the Greeks. You know,
And that goes into Psalms 58 and 3. He's estranged from the womb telling lies. And that means when he came out of that after that headshot, he started what? Lies and witchcraft and deceit. And first he started with crossing out our Lord, Yahweh Shai. And then when he came with what? Christianity, Catholicism, which is nothing but haunted houses. Well, I was going to go, no.
This is the one where it goes into the heathen rage.
After I get this real quick, because we're talking about Yahweh
I
Shai.
got that.
And it goes into Joshua, the 5th chapter, the little header right here. You can read, if I can zoom it in. It says, the captain of the hosts of the Lord, the captain of the armies of the Lord, talking about Yahweh Shai.
The main head right there.
And it came to pass when Joshua was by Jericho that he lifted his eyes, that he lifted up his eyes. I'm going to start again from the top. I got a little excited. I like this account right here. The captain of the host of the Lord. I'm going to read the little header again. The captain of the host of the Lord. The host is the armies. And it came to pass when Joshua was by Jericho that he lifted up his eyes and looked, and behold, there was a man standing over against him with his sword drawn in his hand. Going back to Exodus 15 and 3, Yahweh Shai is a man of war. You know? And Yahweh Shai is the top death angel. How do you like that? You know?
I like the map rules.
Yep.
How do you like that balance? Peace. He's also the Prince of Peace.
Yep. All judgments giving unto him, and mercy is giving unto him.
Yep.
But you got men saying that you ain't gonna bow down, you're not gonna worship. We're gonna see when
Because
Lord
he's also at the judgment seat.
Yep.
When you go into the
Down the fifth chapter.
spirit, that you go into the spirit world.
Yep.
Right?
This is Joshua 5 and 13, again from the top. And it came to pass when Joshua was by Jericho that he lifted up his eyes and looked, and behold, there was a man standing against him with his sword drawn in his hand. And Joshua went unto him and said unto him, art thou for us or for our adversaries? And he said, nay, but as captain of the hosts of the Lord Yahweh Shai, I am now come. And this is the point right here. And Joshua fell on his face to the earth and did worship, and said unto him, what saith my Lord unto his servant? And the captain of the Lord's host, and the captain of the Lord's army said unto Joshua, loose thy shoe from thy foot, for the place whereon thou standest is holy. And Joshua did so. And why did Joshua worship? Because it was Yahweh Shai. This is Revelation 19 and 10. Back that point up. I'm going to start with 9. And he said to me, right, blessed are they which are called unto the marriage supper of the Lamb. And we're calling men to the marriage supper of the Lamb by going out to the highways and byways and crying out to our fellow kinsmen, man. You know, that's in the book of Matthew, the 11th chapter. You know,
Done. And at that supper, what is there? We have faith. You know, we have hope. We have belief. You know, all these are what spiritual tools to have you come into the supper. Okay?
real quick. Matthew 11.
And when a supper, you also have like food, a banquet.
Yeah, you have the main course. You know, it might be a turkey or whatever that it is.
But before that, you have the appetizer.
The appetizer.
Then you have the kind of dinner. And then you have the dessert.
Yeah.
You got the wine and water.
Yeah.
And that's a real supper, man.
Matthew 11 and 15. He that hath ears, let him hear. But whereunto shall I liken this generation? It is like children sitting in the markets and calling to their fellows.
Hey, aren't we in the markets, bro?
Yep. And saying, we have piped unto you, and ye have not danced. We have mourned unto you, and ye have not lamented.
Because this is that new song. And we're playing that song, which is the song of Yahweh Shai, the testimony of Yahweh Shai. He's given us the words to be able to pipe to the hopeful elect.
Which is also the song of deliverance, pursuant to the book of Exodus. I think that's the 28th chapter, man.
Yep.
This song is a song to deliver, the hopeful elect from destruction, man.
Yep. I'll put a new song in that mouth. Yep. This is Revelation 19 and 9. And he saith unto me, right, blessed are they which are called into the marriage supper of the Lamb. Capital L is talking about Yahweh Shai. And he said unto me, these are the true sayings of Yahweh Shai. And I fell at my feet to worship him. And he said unto me, see thou do it not. But why did Joshua worship the man as far as the man that had the sword? Because that was the captain of the host. That was Yahushua, man. You know? This is yep.
He believed the report.
Revelation 19 and 10, and I fell at his feet to worship him, and he said unto me, see thou do it not. I am thy fellow servant and of thy brethren that have the testimony of Yahushua. Worship the Most High, for the testimony of Yahushua is the spirit of prophecy. And to back that point up as far as Yahushua being worshipped, this is Hebrews 1 and 5. For unto the angels he said unto me, thou art my son, this day have I begotten thee, and again I will be to him a father, and he shall be to me a son. And again, when he bringeth in the first begotten into the world, he said, let all the angels of the Most High worship him. And of the angels he said, who maketh his angels spirits and his ministers a flame of fire. You know?
Yeah. And that goes back to the Revelation 19 and 10, where it speaks about, you know, the angel had the what? The angel had the same prophecy as the flesh, okay, which is the spirit of Yahushua HaMashiach, okay? So, and that real quick. This is Jeremiah 28 and 8. The prophets that have been before me, before the old, prophesied both against many countries and against great kingdoms of war and evil and pestilence.
Yeah, the prophets that have been before me and before thee of old prophesied both against many countries and against great kingdoms of war and of evil and of pestilence.
Same thing as the spirit of Joseph, right? Yep. The same thing. So, and you know, the point of me bringing that out is you have to believe the report. You have to believe that, you have to believe in Yahushua HaMashiach that these kingdoms are going to be put down, that there's going to be evil, that there's going to be pestilence, right? And that shows that you have a fear of Yahweh Shemel Hashai.
And what's all you said, bro? The ICD and you said you got to believe, right? You got to have faith. Yeah. Hebrews 11 and 1. Now faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not yet seen. For by it the elders obtained a good report.
So by what? For by faith the elders received a good report.
I'm going to start again from the top. Hebrews 11 and 1. Now faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. For by faith, the elders obtained a good report. Down to the point, Hebrews 11 and 6. But without faith, it is impossible to please him. For he that cometh to the Most High must believe that he is. That's Yahweh. He is, he exists. You got to believe that he is. You know?
Yeah, you have to believe that Yahushua is real, that he is, because he's the one that's going to be rewarding you with what? Salvation and immortality. Because he has given all, Yahweh has given all reign to Yahushua. For what? Being that perfect lamb. And that again is our, you know, basically our forefathers. You know, because Yahushua came into what? The spirit of prophecy. The perfect lamb. He was coming to what? Do his father's work, Yahweh's work. Father's business.
Isaiah 53 and 1. Who had believed our report, and to whom is the arm of the Lord revealed? The arm of the Lord, Yahushua. Who had believed our report? The hope of the elect, the remnant. And those that are going to believe on the words that we speak. This is 1 Timothy 4 and 16. It's like the Spirit's rolling now. 1 Timothy 4 and 16. Let's go.
Real quick, let me get to Jeremiah 3 and 15. And then this is the people that are going to be teaching you and giving you that warning. Yep. I will give you pastors, Jeremiah 3 and 15. I will give you pastors according to mine heart, right? Your lahab, right? To be able to put in your pure mind, which shall feed you with knowledge and understanding. Again, that's that report. Yep. Knowledge and understanding of what? That these missiles are going to be coming down. They didn't make
the end times. Yep. What to look for.
They didn't make the missiles for nothing.
The next step, according to biblical prophecy, you know, understanding on, you know, precepts, breakdowns, so on and so forth, you know, the real knowledge, wisdom, and understanding of the scriptures, man. This is 1 Timothy 4 and 16. Take heed unto thyself and unto the doctrine, continuing them, for in doing this thou shalt both save thyself and them that hear thee. So you're going to save yourself and them that hear you, them that believe in the report. Oh yeah, I was gonna get that. Probably got to go in the bathroom to light it up.
Okay.
Isaiah 53 and 1 again from the top. Isaiah 53 and 1. Just one more time. Who have believed our report, and to whom is the arm of the Lord Yahweh Shemel Hashai revealed? The remnant. You You know, those that are going to believe on what we say, you know, because we have the word of the Heavenly Father. This is um, 1 Timothy 4:16. Take heed unto thyself and unto the doctrine, continue in them. For in doing this, thou shalt save both thyself and them that hear thee. You know?
I want to back you up, bro. Isaiah 53, you brought out Isaiah 53 and 1, right?
Yep.
This is Luke 18 and 31. Then he took unto him the 12 and said unto them, Behold, we go up to Jerusalem, and all things that are written by the prophets concerning the Son of Man shall be accomplished, man. So who has believed our report, man? This report goes into, you know, the prophecies of Yahweh Shai, okay, being pushed forth, okay, to your so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, man. Ultimately, Yahweh Shai is going to manifest, okay, life into existence within these last days. So again, Luke 18 and 31, then Yahweh Shai took him the 12 disciples and said unto them, Behold, we go up to Jerusalem, and all things that are written by the prophets, what is that? The book of Isaiah, the book of Jeremiah, Habakkuk, these are examples of the prophets. Concerning the Son of Man shall be accomplished. For he shall be delivered unto the Gentiles, and shall be mocked, and spitefully entreated, and spitted on. And that's happening to us, man, spiritually, man. You know, it's going to come physically too, man. You're going to have a lot of, haters, envious Israelites going against the true prophets of the Yahweh Shai, but we have to bear our cross.
All for vainglory. You know, either it's for women or for money or for just for status. You know, a lot of people are they want to be the head guy when there's already an order. Okay, there's already men that are put in their order.
This is last one. 33, and they shall scourge him, speaking about Yahweh Shai, and put him to death. And in the third day shall he rise up again. And they understood none of these prophecies, and these sayings was hid from them. Neither knew that the things which were spoken. So the minds of these 2/3 of our people, man, that have been blinded. They don't understand who Yahweh Shai is, man.
Sirach 39 and 24, real quick, then I got another one. Sirach 39 and 24, as his ways are plain to the godly, so are they stumbling blocks to the wicked. I'm going to read it again. Sirach 39 and 24, as his ways are plain to the holy, so are they stumbling blocks to the wicked. And that backs up the brother's point that he just brought up. You know, wisdom is too high for a fool. That's why a lot of our people just are not getting it, because they've been blinded from the foundations of the earth. Pursuant to Isaiah, the 6th chapter, and the 9th verse. Let me get
2 Corinthians 4 and 4, they are blinded by the God of this world.
Yep. And you mentioned them putting the prophets to death, and putting hell on us. This is 2nd Ezra 1. I'm going to go from 27 down to 32. Yep. Ye have not as if, it's like, ye have not as it were forsaken me, but your own selves, saith the Lord Yahweh Shai. Thus saith the Almighty Lord, have I not prayed you as a father his sons, as a mother her daughters, and as a nurse her young babes, that ye would be my people, and I should be your power.
It says that you shall be my people. That's speaking about the nation of Israel. Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans.
Yep. Second Ezra 1 and 29, that ye would be my people, and I should be your power, that ye would be my children, and I should be your father. I gather you together as a hen gathered her chickens under her wings, but now what shall I do unto you? I will cast you out from my face. And Yahweh Shai actually quoted this. I think it's Luke 13 and 32. Want to grab that real quick?
Luke 13 and 32?
Yep.
This is the book of Luke, chapter 13, and verse 32. It says, and he said unto them, you said 13:32, bro?
Yeah, I think it's Luke 13 and 32.
Luke 13 and 32. And he said unto them,
Yep.
Go ye and tell that fox, behold, I cast out devils.
Matthew 13 and 15. For this people's heart are waxed gross, and their ears are dull of hearing. Yeah, so they're dull of hearing. They don't want to hear it. They want to keep, indulging in the activities that Esau Edom has for them, which is abomination. For the people's heart are waxed gross, and their ears are dull of hearing. Yeah, so they're not sharp to this word. They're not preparing themselves for what's about to happen. Okay? And their ears are dull of hearing, and their eyes they have closed. Again, going back to them being blinded. 2 Corinthians 4 and 4, and also Romans 11 and 9. And their ears they have closed, lest any time they should see with their eyes and hear with their ears, and should understand with their heart, and should be converted, and I should heal them. So that goes into Acts 3 and 19. Repent, be ye converted. Convert back to, rehearsing the righteous acts. Stop, put off that old man's, put away childish things, and what? Be renewed in that mind. Be ye transformed, and love not the things in this world. Okay, and
The fashion of this world is fading away.
Yep.
As far as this age, this eon, this place is going to be burnt up with nuclear fire, and it needs to be burnt up, and it's going to be burnt up.
Because even regular people that are not even in the truth, they see something's going on.
But they don't have the spiritual discernment because they've been blinded from the foundations of the earth.
The natural man don't understand the spiritual discernment.
Got anything else in there?
One more. So this is Matthew 13 and 16. But blessed are your eyes, for they see, and your ears, for you they hear. For they hear. So blessed that you see what the vision, and you also hear what the elders and apostles are bringing out. You know what I mean? You're not closing your ears to what? To what's going on, right?
2 Ezra 1 and 30 again. I gather you together as a hen gather her chickens under her wings. But now, what shall I do unto you? I will cast you out from my face. And Yahushua quoted this. Luke 13 and 34.
And this is the Gospel of Luke 13 and 34. Oh, Jerusalem, Jerusalem, which killest the prophets. Now, that's not speaking about the actual land, because how is the land going to kill, a prophet, man?
And the next few precepts, if you read the 2nd Ezra, it goes into them killing the prophets. I'll get it next.
So back to Luke 13 and 34, and Jerusalem is the people before its place.
Yep.
Oh, Jerusalem, Jerusalem, which killest the prophets, and stonest them that are sent unto you. How often would I have gathered thy children together, as a hen does gather her brood under her wings, and ye would not.
And the hen's a chicken. This is 2nd Ezra 1 and 30. I gather you together as a hen gather her chickens under her wings, but now what shall I do unto you? I will cast you out from my face. When you offer unto me, I will turn my face from you. As your solemn feast days, your new moons, and your circumcisions have I forsaken. This is the point right here. I sent, this is 2nd Ezra 1 and 32. I sent unto you my servants the prophets, whom ye have taken and slain, and torn their bodies in pieces, whose blood I will require of your hand, saith the Lord Yahweh Shem Yahushai. Thus saith the Lord, thus saith the Almighty Lord Yahweh Shem Yahushai, your house is desolate, I will cast you out as the wind doth stubble. And that's what we did for a long time. For a long time, from 70 AD to 1970, we were in a dumb, deaf, and blind state. But Yahweh Shem Yahushai is once again bestowing the mercy upon the house of Israel. And it starts with this word going out and you being able to receive this word.
Just adding on to that point, this is Matthew 23 and 29. Woe unto the scribes, and this is Yahweh Shem Yahushai in the red letter. Woe unto the scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites, because you blind the tombs of the prophets, and guard the sepulchres of the righteous. So they're blinding them as far as the word. They're giving what? False philosophies for their own vain glory. They're raving wolves in sheep's clothing. And I say, if we had been in the days of our fathers, we would not have been partakers with them in the blood of the prophets. That's the point right here.
Yeah, that's them trying to justify themselves.
Yep.
Because they were the ones that killed the prophets, man.
Yeah, because this is the third, fourth generation reincarnated all over again. So when Esau likes to say, oh, that wasn't me, that was my father. No, that was you.
That's Isaiah 14, 21, prepare slaughter for your children, the iniquity of the forefathers.
So this is Matthew 23 and 31. Wherefore you be witness unto yourselves that you are the children of them which killed the prophets. Fill you up in the measure of your fathers, you serpents, you generation of vipers. How can you escape the damnation of hell? So, and then when he says the generation of vipers, that's basically him saying, after you, cussing somebody out.
Vipers kind of like a snake, right? And who's that snake? That snake is Esau, pursuant to Genesis, the 3rd chapter. And
how can you escape? This answer as a question. Can ye escape the damnation of hell? Yeah, the condition that you're going to be in. Jacob's trouble, the hour of temptation, sedition amongst people, wars,
being
rumors of wars.
discontinued from your heritage.
See, judgment. You know what I mean? All these different things they're going to happen to that those that don't have that covering, that don't have the Psalms 34 and 7, that have the angels, and also the law, the mark of exemption. Okay, in those final days.
You got the book of Acts we're going to go into, Psalms 2, and then we'll go into the news and we'll wrap on that.
Okay, so I was going to bring out the Acts 4.
Yeah, go ahead, bro.
First, right? So this is Acts 23, right?
Yeah, start at 23.
Okay, so bring it down. Acts 4 and 23, and being let go, they went to their own company.
Yeah, that was after Peter and John were sent to prison for teaching in the name of Yahweh Shem Shai. But after the angel let them go, what happened, bro? Read that again.
Because some of us, real quick, Revelation 2 and 10, some of us shall be cast in the, these prisons, right? 10 days, right? Which is just a certain amount of time, but that's why they have these internment camps.
Yeah.
Some of us are going to have to be martyrs for this truth. But again, that's a crown upon your head.
And some of us may actually be cast in those prisons to get spiritual power and deliver brothers, man. And some of us actually may be cast in the prison to actually feed the last few sheep and seal the last few elect with the word. You know?
And also some of us might not even die.
Yeah.
Oh, Yahweh Shai said, there shall be some of you standing here that shall not taste death. Right? That's going into reincarnation in these last days.
The scriptures also say hope for good.
Yeah,
hope for good, man.
That's right.
Hope for deliverance.
Yeah.
You know, hope for clemency. The white stone. If you go into the book of Revelation, it says, I will give you a white stone. Roughly paraphrasing, that white stone is representative of when you had a Roman court of law or a Greek court of law. If you got a white stone, you were cleared. Yeah. You were granted clemency. You know, and the black stone meant you were guilty. We want to receive that white stone, which is clearance, man. And that's Psalms the 32nd chapter. You know, blesses. Let me get that real quick. That's on my spirit. Psalm 32, because the elect have been cleared. You know, because it goes back to the tender mercies of David, because David committed the sins that are worthy of death. Yeah. Adultery, murder. He also numbered Israel.
Oh, okay.
You know? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? This is Psalms 32.
Yeah, adultery.
Yeah.
So all those different things. And how was David able, the mercies of David, Psalm 51, how was he able to be saved? Because he humbled himself.
Oh,
and he asked for a renewed spirit, a contrite spirit.
Yep.
And that's the same thing that we're doing, because we know that Micah 7 and 9, we are bear the indignation, which is righteous anger from Yahweh Shem Shai. But we got to bear our cross.
Yeah.
Okay?
Exactly.
Psalms 32 and 1, a psalm of David. Blessed is he. I'm going to start again from the top. Psalms 32 and 1, a psalm of David. Blessed is he whose This is Psalm 32 and 1 again from the top, a psalm of David. Blessed is he whose transgression is forgiven, whose sin is covered. Blessed is the man unto the Lord Yahweh Shem Shai, imparted not iniquity, and in whose spirit is no guile. That's you having the white stone. That's you being cleared. That's you being given clemency, and that's what we want.
Yeah, no guile.
You know,
Okay.
no guile, no false doctrine in our speech.
So this is Acts 4 and 23. And being let go, they went to their own company and reported all that the chief priests and elders had said unto them.
Yeah, because they were scoffing and mocking at Apostle Paul and the other disciples, Paul and John.
Same thing that's going on right now.
Yep.
Acts,
Paul and John, that's symbolic to northern and southern kingdom, bro.
Acts 4:13.
Yeah, go ahead.
Acts 4 and 24. And when they heard that, lifted up thy voice to our power, Yahweh, with one accord, and said, Yahweh Shai, thou art our power, Yahweh, which has made heaven and earth, and the sea, and all that in them is, all that in them is, who by the mouth of thy servant David has said.
It says what? By the mouth of thy servant David. Read that again, bro.
No. This is Acts 4 and 25. Who by the mouth of thy servant David has said, why do the heathen rage?
Yeah, and that prophecy in Psalm the 2nd chapter was fulfilled in Acts the 4th chapter. Why do the heathen rage? Because our people are like unto heathen, man. They're raging at the miracles and prophecies of the Yahweh Shem Shai, man, and his best.
And the 2/3, technically they are heathens because they're a separate nation. Also, you had the Romans who were, who were basically putting hell on our people. And I believe it was high chief priests and the Sadducees and the Pharisees that told Yeah, it was those guys that told the apostles, did we not command you to not prophesy in that in Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shem Yahshai?
That also in Acts the 4th chapter?
Acts the 5th chapter, where they cast him into prison. And they said, did we not directly command you to not prophesy in the name? They told them not to prophesy in the name. And then in Acts the 5th chapter, after they were thrown out of prison, Peter and the rest of the apostles said, we are to obey the Most High rather than men. And that's our attitude in these last days. We are to obey Yahweh Shem Yahshai rather than men. We don't care how many laws you pass, you know, we're going to prophesy until that day comes where, you know, we have to basically, you know, shut thyself within thy house. Ezekiel 3 and 24.
And Lord, Lord willing, we endure to the end for thy name's sake. So this is that account that the brother Haas was speaking about, Acts 5 and 39. But if it be of our power, Yahweh, you cannot overthrow it. Lest happily ye be found even to fight against Yahweh. So that goes back to Proverbs 20 and 24. A man's goings are of the Lord. Okay, how can he know his ways? And that goes for these also.
The next precept said, did we not say we tell you to prophesy in his name?
This is Acts 5 and 40. And to him that agreed, and when they had called the apostles and beaten them, they commanded. So they were counted on. Yeah, they were spitted on.
Yeah.
And so
they were going through it, man.
Yep.
And the apostle Paul, he talked about how much he went through it. I think in 2 Corinthians the 11th chapter, he talked about he was shipwrecked twice. He was beaten thrice. I just don't. The brother getting on the phone. I think
and
it's
the brother. Well, I think it was.
He was shipwrecked 3 times. He was beaten. You know.
2 Corinthians 11 and 25.
Come on. That's
Want to bring it out, bro?
Yeah, real quick.
Okay, 2 Corinthians 11 and 25. Thrice.
Get 24.
Okay, Khan. Real quick.
Yeah.
Beautiful chapter. So again, 2 Corinthians 11, and you said 24?
Down to 26, I believe.
Yeah. And verse 24. Of the Jews, I'll start at 23, bro, because this is after Apostle Paul acknowledges his nationality. Are they Hebrews, so am I?
Yep.
Verse 23. Are they ministers of Hamashiach?
You can start with that.
God.
Beautiful.
2 Corinthians 11 and 22.
God.
Are they Hebrews? So am I.
Yep.
Are they Israelites? So am I.
Hebrew Israelites is in the Bible, man.
God.
Are they Hebrews? So am I. Are they Israelites? So am I. Also, the Apostle Paul in the book of
Romans the 11th chapter.
the 11th chapter, you know, Romans and then Corinthians, both letters to, you know, Israelites dwelling amongst the heathen, one to Israelites in Rome, and then one to Israelites dwelling in Corinth, which is a province of Greece under the Roman rule.
And that's why he had the most trouble with Corinthians.
Because Corinth was popping.
Yeah, that's why.
Like Elder Yashimama said, they had sex orgy parties, people out there just doing all sorts of drugs back in the day. You know, pork barbecue parties and so on and so forth.
We got around here.
Just like you got around here. You know, that's why. Women trying to teach. You know, that's why the Apostle Paul wrote those long letters to Corinth, because, like Elder Yashimama said a long time ago, Corinth was popping, man. You know, it was popping.
Like 1999.
Yeah, it was popping. You know.
So back to 2 Corinthians 11 and 22. Are they Hebrews? So am I. Are they Israelites? So am I. Are they the seed of Abraham? So am I.
And that's our nationality. That's who we go back to. That's who we descend from, man. You know? You're not so-called Mexican, Native American, any of the bywords and the proverbs the so-called white man called you, man. That's what he called you when he arrived off the slave ships, man.
And they're
even Azteca.
Azteca.
Yeah, you can break that down. You know?
Yeah, going into Azteca, man. It's not even going into the so-called Mexicans.
Yeah, that's
Mexicas. Not even that.
That's what the white man called you, man. Those are both Spanish names.
Yeah, because Azteca actually goes back to the land of Aztlan, which is a whole Babylon the Great linked with Mexico.
Yep.
So going back to 2 Corinthians 11 and 23, are they ministers of Hamashiach? I speak as a fool. I am more in labors, more abundant, in stripes above measure, in prisons more frequent, in deaths often. Of the Jews 5 times received I 40 stripes, save one. And as I get to the world, I got 99 problems with a good chance one. So 2 Corinthians 11 and 24, of the Jews 5 times received I 40 stripes, and save one. Thrice, 3 times, was I beaten with rods. Once was I stoned. 3 times I suffered shipwreck. So hey, we even had Apostle Paul. He had so-called brothers that left him, bro.
a day I have been in the deep, in journeys often, in perils of waters, in perils of robbers, in perils by mine own people.
Want to start from the top again?
2 Corinthians 11 and 24, 23. Are they ministers of Hamashiach? I speak as a fool. I am more labors, more abundant,
Yep.
and strives above measure.
Paul was constantly going from province to province to province to province, teaching the word of Yahweh Shem Yahshai and sealing the elect as far as the Israelite foreigners, man. And he had a large measure of the Holy Spirit. So he had a huge lot to fill, you know?
And that's also in St. Rag where it says a man that has traveled much has a lot of experience.
Much experience,
So
come.
you need to travel, man, and experience, you know, the valley of the shadow of death to gain more wisdom. That's the only way. And in the world, they have say much experience as much as required. Okay, and that's what's required as far as your measurement, whatever that your measurement is. So
That's what the scriptures say as far as to whom is much given, much is required.
it says here
That's
above
what
measure.
That's what Paul was given. He was given a large measure of the Holy Spirit. That's why he had to write all those letters, basically to keep Jake in check, man. And that's why he had to constantly go, you know, from province to province to province to province. He got shipwrecked 3 times. We'll just let the brother bring it out.
And then also, you know, going back to the measure, then you have Obadiah that just had basically one chapter. But it's right, but it's very powerful, and that shows you that it's all one body. Because every measure is part of the body of Yahawashi Hamashiach, which is the testimony of Yahawashi. So back to 2 Corinthians 11 and 23. Are they ministers of Hamashiach? I speak as a fool. I am more in labors more abundant.
Labor's more abundant because he was constantly laboring.
Doing the work.
Yep.
And strives above measure.
Stripes. He got beaten with many stripes. It goes into that.
In prisons more frequent.
Constantly being harassed for teaching the word, you know, thrown in prison.
And deaths often.
He strived for the truth unto death twice. Because he was stoned and he gave up the spirit when he was stoned. It talks about that in the book of the 1 Corinthians, you know, in the book of Acts, like in the 14th chapter. And then there's an account of it in the book of 2 Corinthians, as far as him seeing the spiritual realm and the words that were described to describe the spiritual realm. He said they were unlawful. How much more the kingdom, man?
Verse 24. Of the Jews, 5 times received I 40 stripes.
200 stripes. You know?
Save one. Thrice was I beaten with rods.
Beaten with rods 3 times.
Once was I stoned.
He was stoned, and that's in the book of Acts, the 14th chapter. You know, and then right after he was stoned, he got up and then went to Lyconium and Antioch again.
Like if nothing happened.
You know? So just get there real quick.
And what was he doing? He was asking about the church. Is everyone else all right? Okay, you know what I mean? Even though that he had those wounds, right? Because this is all again spiritual.
Hey, bro, and I don't even think Apostle Paul was part of the 12, was he? Was he part of the 12 disciples, Apostle Paul?
No.
Man, that's
He came later. He came later. But he was given a large measure of the Holy Spirit. You know?
Oh, and that's also, I think, in Acts, the 24th chapter, where Apostle Paul, he's breaking down how he came into the understanding of Yahawashi with, I think it was the King Agrippa, or something like that. But he mentioned how Yahawashi told Apostle Paul how he would have to suffer a lot of setbacks through his name. Roughly paraphrasing. So going back to verse 26.
Let me get that real quick. Acts 14 and 20. Acts 14 and 19. Yep. And there came thither certain Jews from Antioch and Iconium, who persuaded the people, and having stoned Paul, drew him out of the city, supposing he had been dead. Howbeit, as the disciples stood round about him, he rose up and came into the city. And the next day he departed with Barnabas to Derbe. And when they had preached the gospel to that city and taught many, he returned again to Lystra and to Iconium and to Antioch. That took some gall, man.
Yeah,
After he just got stoned, he came back and was like, so what?
To preach the word.
And this is the point. Acts 14 to 22. Confirming the souls of the disciples and exhorting them to continue in the faith, and that we must, through much tribulation, enter into the kingdom of the Most High. So we're going to have to go through it to get to it, man.
You know, to finish it off, bro?
Finish it off, and I'll go back to Acts 5 and 40.
It says, 2 Corinthians 11:26, in journeys often, in perils of waters, in perils of robbers, in perils by mine own countrymen. by the heathen, in perils in the city, in perils in the wilderness, in perils in the sea, in perils amongst false brethren, in weariness and painfulness, in watchings often, in hunger, and thirst, and fastings often, in cold and nakedness.
Yep, he was going through it.
Yep.
Let me get this to back you up. Sirach 4:28. Strive for the truth unto death, and the Lord Yahweh Shem Yahshai shall fight for thee. And Paul strove for the truth unto death twice. Because, you know, he was eventually beheaded because he was a Roman citizen. He wasn't crucified. You know, they wanted to crucify him, but because he was a citizen of Rome, back in that time, if you were to crucify a citizen of Rome, that's like a heinous act. You know,
Because it was heinous.
it was a heinous act. But the fact that he was an Israelite, they could crucify him. But because he was a Roman citizen, they decided to behead him instead. You know, but he strived for the truth unto death twice, man. And now he has literally the most books written in the scriptures,
Which I
man.
think has 13 letters.
Yeah.
And the majority of those letters, he wrote those in prison, man. When you go to the history.
And when you think about the account that happens, you know, when you think about warfare, because we're in a spiritual warfare, you're gonna have bumps, you're gonna have bruises, you're gonna have feelings. You might not have, you know, all the essentials that you want in that day. But as long as you have that daily bread, right, you're able to have mercy from Yahweh Shem Shai. You're able to survive. So this is Acts 5:40. And to him that agreed, and when they called the apostles, and they should not speak in the name of Yahweh Shai, and let them go. And they departed from the presence of the council, rejoicing that they were counted worthy to suffer shame for his name. So they're counted worthy to basically, you know, get their ass whooped for the name's sake. And that's the same spirit that we have to come in. Again, some of us might be cast into prison, some of us might be a certain place without food and stuff like that, but it says what? My servant shall eat.
Can you read that one more time? So Lord, real quick, bro. I want to back you up.
Acts 5:41. And they departed from the presence of the council, rejoicing, so they're praising that they were even counted worthy, just like we're out here being even accounted worthy to do this work. So even though we catch hell on a daily basis, but it's worth it. That's a vessel to honor, right? Rejoicing that you were counted worthy, right? Worthy of what? Worthy of not, you know, having that judgment, a rash judgment on you, right? Worthy to suffer shame for his name.
I want to back you up on that. Acts 9:16. For this is Yahushua speaking. For I will show him, speaking about Apostle Paul, Yahushua is going to show Apostle Paul how great things he must suffer for my name's sake. So you got to suffer for the name of Yahweh Shem Shai, man. And suffering means to be, was it patience? Patience means long suffering, man. And endurance to the end. When Esau falls, man, you got to be able to bear your cross, man. And get salvation.
Because to be able to endure hardness like a good soldier, right? Because again, this is a spiritual warfare, right?
Let's get the news and wrap on up.
But, what's going on? What date is it, bro?
We got to go way back, bro, because we haven't covered the news in 2 weeks.
Okay. Friday. From Friday, Thursday. Tuesday.
Before that. I'll show you where.
Okay, Saturday,
Before
29th.
way before that.
The last one I have right here. Saturday, January 29th. That's like a week ago.
Before that. We haven't covered the news in like almost 2 weeks. There's a lot of stuff that's been going on.
Go on January.
We just bring it. We don't have to bring out
Because a lot of this stuff is actually the same. You know, pretty much.
Go to January 27th, bro. Because that was after Wednesday. Wednesday was the 27th. So it should be on the 28th. Go on the 28th.
It actually goes to the 26th. So yeah, the 26th. It says, this is, well, it goes from the 26th to 29th.
Yeah, we'll start there.
Okay, yeah. So, this is, you know, we're just bringing out articles and, you know, filtering through the scriptures, you know. So, FBI's new domestic terror unit should scare us all, looking to punish Americans for thought crimes.
And that goes into, they have a pre-con division with Homeland Security. I forgot what it's called. Triple C. That's what it's called. Triple C. You know. Yep.
And so with those thought crimes, it says, even prior to January 6th insurrection during the summer of violent BLM and Antifa riots, so these BLM, these these Antifas, these are all funded by George Soros, which is on the Wicked poster, right?
And it's the Homeland Department of Homeland Security. They have a department called it's called 3P, something pre-crime prevention. You know, where they're basically keeping an eye on anybody who's an enemy of the state, anybody who has radical opinion as far as they're concerned, basically anybody on what they consider the red list.
Well, who's that talking about? That's a prophet.
It's talking about us, you know. So it's just the fact that they're doing this. It shows who they are. We'll just go rapid speed.
Lord willing, we're counting worthy. I want to see if I can get that feeler. I can't.
It says you should go to Homeland DHS 3P program.
Homeland
DHS 3P program. P3 or P3? 3P or P3? I did a lesson on it way.
Okay, done. So Homeland P3 red list. Blockhead P3.
You don't have to look at red list. You can just pre-crime program, 3P, pre-crime program. You might not pull up on your phone. DHS, Department of Homeland Security, FEMA. It's a division that they have. Okay. For pre-crime. You can look at pre-crime program.
Yeah, pre-crime. It says Homeland Security moves forward. Internal Homeland Security document indicates program to predict criminal intent is being tested on members. Go into it. Homeland Security moves forward with pre-crime detection. Internal Homeland Security document indicates programs to predict criminal intent is being tested on members of the public, raising questions about whether it's a bit too close to real-life Minority Report. Yep. So again, the Minority Report is what art depicting reality. They show you what they're going to be able to do in these movies, and then they bring it out.
I did a lesson on that. On that list, it's a whole bunch of things that they're looking for, man. You know, literally I did a lesson on it almost 9-10 months ago, man. You know, and one of the things that they're looking for is people who homeschool their children, so on and so forth. There's a whole bunch of radical stuff as far as the things that they're looking for on that list, and that's an actual division of Department of Homeland Security. It's 3P, something pre-crime prevention.
And that's ultimately why they
preventative pre-crime prevention. That's what it's called.
That's what
You know,
that's the reason why they want everything to be on the credit card, so they can be able to track you, because they have a thing called data mining, where they're able to know exactly what you're doing.
And that goes into the Karagma.
Yeah,
because Karak implements the Karagma, and in the Karagma you have your information.
Goes into the word grapos, which you have your passport, social security, everything that you have to go to and fro throughout Babylon the Great. It's all going to be inserted in that small Karagma.
On your lexical graph, right? You know, because your graph chart, you know, that's what they use as far as statistics. You know,
because that's the same thing that is
your social security, your social credit score, your medical records, your Kool-Aid records, your social media, you know, your banking information, you know, all of that's going to be all on one system.
That's what the digital license is. That's a prelude to bring in the Karagma. Okay, that's why they keep saying certain things are going to, certain places are getting hacked. Okay. So all that stuff started when, when those towers got hit.
Yep.
All that stuff started. They started invading more of your space. That's when they started being more and more Big Brother.
The Patriot Act, and then the National Defense Authorization Act, and then they have these new things because of the pandemic. Now they have more power as far as the Department of Homeland Security and FEMA. You know, and now they have these concentration camps set up. So if you don't agree, or if you don't bow down, or if you don't submit, then they can just throw you in them indefinitely. And that's the Department of Homeland Security through the National Defense Authorization Act. They have the ability to do that, and that's been planned since the early '80s.
Yeah, they
Rex 84, the King Alfred plan. That's been in plan. And if you read the King Alfred plan, and if you read and go into Rex 84, it goes into rounding up Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, and then those who are in prison. And then who do you have as far as the majority of the people who are in prison? Jake, man. You know, so you were never free, you know, because you're still under this man's system as far as you're still going to pay tribute. His face is in the money. And then anything you do as far as a minor crime, he can throw you in jail and then make you a slave in jail. And in his prison system.
That's what emancipation was. It
Yeah.
means to give up. And what did they do? They gave it to the people up north, which is to make you a tax slave.
Yep,
A
the
corporate
13th
slave.
Amendment, you know?
Yep.
If you're a prisoner, then they can basically make you a slave all over again.
Because they'll charge you for a small crime, and then you're doing like 20 years in jail.
They'll have you
Prison.
working in the kitchen in the county.
Yep.
You know?
Making license plates.
Making license plates, and then when you're in prison, you'll be making shoes.
Yep.
Shoe program,
Yeah,
nigga.
yeah. That's what Make America Great is.
Yep.
That's why when they wear those red hats, and again, that's the warning from Esau with that red hat. And everyone, Trump's a good guy. And they're of the same evil, right? So this is it says the WHO releases,
The World Health Organization, we're in the back, I tell you, we just call them who they are.
Okay.
The World Health Organization, the powers that be, the wicked,
Who? Right there.
the medical experts are these guys. And if you look into the medical industry, it goes back to the Asclepius, man. That's what's on all of your medical field as far as their logo. It's on the first aid trucks. It's on the hospitals.
Which is a rod with a snake around it.
Yep.
Okay.
And it's symbolic, and that's also the World Health Organization logo. They have the Asclepius rod, and then they have the eagle's wings, showing you who's behind it, who's in power, and then they have the world around the eagle's wings. That's showing you that the earth is given to the hand of the wicked. If you have visual, you have eyes to see, and this man's trying to get you with that pharmakia, and he's trying to give it to the whole world. And he has the power to do it right now because this man is enchanting the masses right now with the spell, and then eventually with the potion. Because this man's a wizard, man. He's a necromancer, man. You know?
Yeah.
And that goes back to the law. We're not supposed to. Yeah, we're not supposed to, seek those that have familiar spirits, necromancers, wizards, or consult with them. You know? And you have a lot of our people into witchcraft these days.
Horoscopes and things like that. That's all witchcraft. Okay? Birthdays, yep. So it says the WHO releases plan for global digital, what we were just talking about earlier, passports funded by Bill and Melinda Gates, Rockefeller Foundation. Okay, and Bill Gates, which his father was William Gates, was all part of eugenics, to have a control over who is born in this world. Okay, and Bill Gates, he's also related to a guy named, I think it's,
Bill Gates.
He's related to the Rockefellers.
Yeah.
I forgot the guy's name.
And the Rockefellers are related to the Rothschilds. They're all one family, man.
Yep, Red Shield.
Yeah, the Red Shield, man.
Red Shield, yep.
That's Esau.
Buyer Shaw. Okay, which also means peasant.
Yep.
Okay? And that's
Buyer,
Buyer.
Buyer.
Yeah, good.
I think it's Bauer or Buyer, one of them.
Buyer, yeah. B-A-Y-E-R.
Yep.
Okay? Yeah, so and they are the peasants because, again, 1 Corinthians 1 and 27, when it speaks about the base things of the world will be set up. And Job 30 speaks about what kind of man Esau Edom really is.
Children of fools, the children of base men.
Yeah.
You know?
And so that's why you see Bill Gates buying up all this farmland too, to be able to...
And Melinda Gates, what was she saying?
Yeah.
There's been conspiracy theories. There's been conspiracy theories that my husband is, putting in this device to people through this potion that we're giving them. That technology doesn't exist, but what are they doing right here in this next article? They're doing exactly that. They're speaking with the fourth tongue. That goes back to Proverbs, the 26th chapter. When he's speaking fair, believe him not, but there are 7 abominations in his heart. A complete number of abominations in this man's heart. That's why you don't trust this man. Never trust thy enemy. Let's go to the next article.
So, cell carrier to drop unjabbed staff.
T-Mobile, right?
Yep.
And you have another major player, Hershey Chocolate, who's doing the same thing. That's another article I said. We'll go into that. We'll just go next one. Next one, rapid speed. But that shows you what direction that they're taking this thing. They're taking this thing from recommending to threatening. Now, we're just going to act on our threats pretty soon.
Recommending, mandating, being draconian, and then being cardinal.
Yep.
Which is ultimately his sword that King David was trying to protect himself, but also the tabernacle of David from, right? So this is digital IDs could easily turn into dystopian social credit system. And a dystopian state is depicted in Hunger Games.
China. That's what they have, in the form of, if you don't have a good enough social credit score, you can't fly, you can't catch a train, you can't go into the grocery store, they're having certain people quarantined in their houses, you can't leave. if you don't have the potion. They're doing that in India. They were doing that in India like back in summer, man. I did a lesson on it, and there were videos. We actually brought it to camp. There were videos of them going around on town with the loudspeaker saying anybody that's under 40, that's over 40, better yet, that's non-Jews, you can't leave and go out into the market and shop. You know? And that's coming to Babylon the Great pretty soon.
And India is part of NATO, okay, which is showing you that that beast system is showing that Esau Edom, that Green Bay tree that's spread out. He's everywhere pushing forth this agenda.
And
This
there's
is a
videos
worldwide
in India,
agenda.
and there's videos in India of them going around with the police and people in the military at times, and they're rounding up people and they're forcing them to take it. And they have people who are basically a part of the community, like there were some Edomites dressed up. Speaking of Elon, look what you have behind you. You know, ladies looking like this in that dress right here. Ladies looking like that. Ladies looking like that. Dudes looking like that. They were rounding up their fellow Edomites, man. And they had the military with them, and they were forcing the Kool-Aid on them, man. You know?
And also,
that shows you that most likely they had a bounty system or some type of reward or incentive for those people to do that. That's also happening in Austria. You know?
yeah, and also another thing that you saw in the last couple of months was India was throwing down all their deities, throwing them down on the street and basically saying they're not going to be able to work.
Psalms 96.
Yeah, that's all prophecy.
For the nation, for the gods of the nations are idols, man. The only living power of heaven and earth is Yahweh Bashem Yahshua, Yahweh Yahweh Shah. And Daniel, that's spiritual because Daniel, what did he do? He didn't bow down to the gods of Nebuchadnezzar, you know, or the gods of Darius the Mede, Darius, man, under the Persian Mede Empire, man. And the Persian Mede Empire, that was Elam, you know, and Japheth. That's why these heathens got hell to pay.
So this is the next article. Chinese ambassador warns increasing U.S. ties with Taiwan will most likely lead to war.
Yep.
Okay, so Taiwan is also connected to China. Okay, so that's how you're going to have the Moabites, coming to war, with Babylon the Great. And also Taiwan is also known as the #1 market as far as that big thing, that Karagma. They're the #1 maker over there. Okay, so that's why they have a battle. That's why they're over there in Ohio.
Taiwan and China are actually rivals, but if you go into it as far as the UN meetings and the world meetings, as far as so on and so forth, when it comes down to that, China actually represents Taiwan.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like, so they still have contracts,
but
they still, because what it is people, Babylon still conspires with them and part of them, and so they're always paying them off. So even with China, the China's actually owned by the UK, by the Brits. Okay, they still have a contract with them. Okay, and I think that ended in about 2017. Or not, in 1997, so they still have a lot of the same customs as far as over there. Okay, just like Babylon the Great is owned by the Queen, right?
Now this from Natural News, global organizations predict mass starvation amid historic rises in fertilizers. Farm production costs thanks to out of control inflation.
Yep, and we talked about the out of control inflation. You know, Yahweh Bashem Yahshua is going to send the evil elements of famine. You're going to have a lot of people die of famine, starvation, and eventually it's going to lead to all-out anarchy and then cannibalism, man. You're going to have people eating their own. Actually, you know what? That's spiritual though, because if you probably seen on IG, there was a brother that shared a video on IG of Levi doing it already. There was a Levite that was having, there was some type of fire going on, and what did the Jake do? The Jake took the dude's arm, and it was burning already, took his, dude, you can see dude's arm hanging out, burnt, and dude took a chunk out of his arm and started eating it, right there on camera. And that shows you that cannibalism is coming back. And there was cannibalism going on after around the time of 70 AD. Also during the time of, in the book of Kings, you shall eat my son and I shall eat your son tomorrow. We'll just run through the article. Okay, yeah. We'll be here 3.5 hours.
Yeah, so there is going to be cannibalism. Why? So that's why, and a lot of these things are going to make people bow down to that image. Okay, that's the whole point of this. That's why there's a thing called a blockade siege, which is they're able to what? Control the market. They're able to control the food. That's why they knocked out the middle class to bring in just the poor and just the rich.
And blockade and siege is a war tactic. That was a tactic. That was a tactic that was used in 70 AD, and that was a tactic that was used on Gad and Reuben. You know, when they killed off all the buffalo and all the edible stuff that Gad used to eat as far as lawful meats. Some of them probably unlawful as well. You know, Gad. You know, Jay going off. Yeah.
I got the next one, bro.
Come.
This from the article Zero Hedge. Authoritarian madness. The slippery slope from lockdowns to concentration camps.
I mean, that's needs no further explanation. You can see what's going on. Literally, in
Revelation 2 and 10.
Australia, New Zealand, you know, Germany, they have these all over the world. Canada, they have them. The United States, they have over 800. You know? And who are those concentration camps run by? FEMA, Department of Homeland Security, who conveniently has a pre-crime prevention program
Which
set
is
up.
the feds.
And they're spying on people who have adverse opinions. You know? And their number one enemy is this gospel going out, man. So eventually, there's going to be a period where you're not going to be able to hear this message because, you know, they're going to be looking to round brothers up. They're going to have bounties out for brothers because, according to them, we're the number one sources of disinformation. You know, according to them, alleged disinformation.
And with that FEMA, the reason why they want the FEMA is because that's federal.
Yep.
That's why you have the defunding of the police. Because with defunding of the police, what does it happen? More murders, more killings, and then the people say, "Well, we want help. We want help." Then we'll bring the military. Why do you think Joe Butthead put in 1,000 troops?
Problem, reaction, solution. You know?
Order out of chaos.
Yep.
Order out of chaos.
Never let a good crisis go to waste. That's a quote from one of the wicked elites, man.
Yeah.
You know?
I think that was the governor of Chicago.
Kissinger is what I think. Kissinger, one of them.
Well, Henry Kissinger, he also said that if you control the food supply, you control the people.
And that's exactly what the article went into.
Yep.
And that's what they're looking to do, control the food supply. And conveniently, what are they doing? They're stockpiling food in these concentration camps and in these relocation centers, Walmart, so on and so forth. And they have a lot of Walmarts that have been turned into empty places, man. Plumbing problems, right? Right by train tracks.
Yep.
And if you spell Walmart backwards, it's martial law. And who was actually the founder of Walmart? He was actually a part of the military before that, man.
Okay.
Yeah. Something Walter, you know? You can look him up.
His name is Walter.
Yeah. If you type in founder of Walmart military, you can find out he was a part of the military, man. So this is all planned. This is all
You already got it, bro?
the plans of the wicked.
No, I don't have that part.
You know?
But I have one part that he was saying.
And this is biblical prophecy, man.
Oh, I got
Because
it here, bro.
yep,
It says his name is John Walton.
John Walton,
Sam's son proudly served as a Green Beret medic in Vietnam,
Green Beret medic in Vietnam.
receiving the Silver Star for bravery in combat.
Yep.
Sam started what would eventually become Walmart with $5,000 he saved from his army itinerary,
Yep.
opening Walton's 5 and dime in Bentonville, AR in 1951.
And a lot of these Walmarts, they have some of these Walmarts. I've seen this a long time ago. They actually have guillotines set up.
Yeah.
The United States ordered a whole bunch of smart guillotines from China last year. Where do you think those guillotines are going? They're going to Walmarts and they're going to United States Army holding facilities and so on and so forth, man. And there's an actual Walmart. We've seen it. I showed it on video to the brothers that actually had a gas chamber in it.
Oh, God.
Yeah. You know?
So real quick, the branch where this thing just Walton was working at, it says, the Army Intelligence Corps, so going to the CIA, the Central Intelligence Agency. So they're able to have the ability to communicate on the left-hand side.
We gotta get involved with
And it says, what branch of the military was Sam Walton in? It says, the Army Intelligence Corps, drafted in the U.S. Army in 1942, Walton served stateside as a communication officer in the Army intelligence for the duration of World War II.
Yep. So it's not just some regular Edomite that that was the founder of Walmart. It was an Army intelligence officer, man. You know, and Walmart, I believe they have government contracts as well. You know, you know, and then a lot of these WalMarts are being cleared out. You know, conveniently being closed down, and some of them actually have armed station people inside them, man. And you can't go in some of them, and some of them actually have black glass in front of them, man, so you can't see what's going on. You know?
This is some of the executive orders part they already have out. So this is 11005. It allows the government to take over railroads, inland waterways, and public storage facilities.
Yep.
So they're able to control all the ports over here, like they have over here in, you know, on the West Coast, right? They're able to control all those things, and also those railways. What is the railway used and those highways usually used for was the actual military. So they can be able to transport certain people from place to place without them knowing. That's what these lockdowns were all about, so they can be able to move certain weaponry. Okay, this is another executive order. Real quick.
Again, one more time.
Yeah. Executive, and also there's a going back to the dystopian state, the Hunger Games. What did they have? They had the train that was going to each place to basically have these people fight over food and famine, or you know, over food, right?
Read that one more time.
So 11005, this is an executive order, right, from your government, which means mind control, allows the government to take over railroads, inland waterways, and public storage facilities.
Read this.
Now, there's a document from Congress.gov.
Senate Bill, I believe it's HR 4980.
Yeah, HR 4980.
As in House of Representative Bill, HR 4980.
And it says to direct the Secretary of Homeland Security,
DHS, Homeland Security, FEMA,
to ensure that any individual traveling on a flight that departs from or arrives to an airport inside the U.S. or a territory of the U.S. is fully jabbed against the crown
Royale.
and for other purposes.
Yep, and Canada has a similar law. And you can't even get on the train in Canada if you ain't been hit up. You know, if you don't have the Tupac song in your body. Like, as far as hit 'em up, you ain't been hit up with that Kool-Aid, man.
Yeah. That Beetlejuice.
That Beetlejuice, man. The dragon punch.
It says the bill was introduced August 6, 2021.
Yep. And then shortly after that, Canada introduced their law, and it's a law. You know, I believe it started with government employees, but now they have massive protests going on in Canada because you can't go in the grocery store in certain places. What is it, Walmart and Costco? You can't go into Walmart and Costco in Canada.
And also, real quick,
unless you've been hit up.
And what do they do with the truckers? They have them over there protesting. And what do the truckers do? The truckers are the one that bring in all the food, all the essentials, everything that you need. So now there's a war. Why? Because they don't want that thing, right? And then so I just want to get real one quick scripture. 2 Ezra 15 and 17. A man shall
Can you get 5? Go with the show.
start from 5.
No, just get 5. Don't start from 5.
Second Ezra,
I want to get all the news.
this whole chapter is going into what's going on right now. So 2 Ezra 15 and 5. Behold, said the Lord Yahweh Shem Yahshai, I will bring plagues upon the world.
Plagues upon the world. And who's the facilitator of those plagues? Esau Edom, man. That's who's, looking to lock down. Hey, can you back up, bro? Can you listen?
No, I'm listening.
Okay.
I said what you talking about. I'm listening.
Okay. We'll keep on speaking.
Talk to me then.
So the plagues are being facilitated by the so-called white man, man. That's who's telling you to take the juice. That's who's telling you to bow down. That's who's telling you who's going to have access granted to goods and who's not going to have access granted to goods.
So it says 2 Ezra 15 and 5. Behold, I said Yahweh Shem Yahshai, I will bring plagues upon the world.
Upon the world, that's upon everybody, the hour of temptation.
The sword, the famine.
The sword, the famine. And who was given the sword? Esau Edom. The red dragon that's talked about in the book of Revelation.
And the sword comes in many different variations.
That thing.
The missiles, right?
The media.
You already believe that
Misinformation.
shit?
The sword, the famine, the death, and the destruction.
Yep. Death and destruction. That's what's coming to everybody that doesn't believe, man. You know?
So you believe that, right?
So second
No,
Ezra
ask a
15.
question.
See, we're out here
and
teaching,
17.
right? We
No, I
must
gotta.
believe it.
No. I'm listening. So,
Okay, well, just can you
so you
please
believe
listen?
that, right?
Can
So
you
why
please
you got
listen?
an NBA jersey on under that?
What does that have to do with what we're teaching?
What does that
It
have
has
to
to
do with
do with everything.
anything? All right,
Keep
bro,
on, come on,
let's
bro.
keep
See?
Keep going.
Second Ezra 15 and 17. A man shall desire to go in a city and shall not be able to. That goes into the article that brother brought out. What's it?
Salaki,
Okay.
the article is called The Madness, Slippery Slope from Lockdowns to Concentration Camp.
Okay.
You know
And
what
then
a slippery
also
slope
that
is?
goes
No,
into
not
that
y'all
also
two.
goes into
I'm
the
asking you. You
legislation.
just said it. What's the
Second
slippery slope?
Ezra.
What is a slippery slope?
This next article. Let's go. Let's
Can
keep
you
on
tell me
going.
what a slippery
Right.
slope is?
Next article is
Oh,
from
you
the,
can't tell me what a slippery slope is, right? Just read some shit.
from Military New York. It says a zero hedge article.
Can you tell me what a
China
slippery slope
rips
is?
off U.S. military with new mechanical yak.
Yeah, I was in the military.
Military. Oh, you was in the military. COINTELPRO. We have right here. Yep.
And that goes into the line.
Yep.
How the fuck do you tell me what a slippery slope is? No. Get off your phone, bro. Tell me what a slippery
So
slope is.
next article from
We just going into
Yeah, trash
COINTELPRO.
bag.
next
Y'all
article from
don't come out here and preach
naturalnews.com.
if you don't know what you're talking about.
It says California legislators,
That's trash bag.
including Richard Pan, trying to force all school children to get the jab.
Don't come out here and preach when you don't know what you're talking about.
So this
Because
natural
no,
news.
I am not.
California
I'm not a
legislators
Christian. I'm not one of them.
Richard
Do you know who I am?
trying to force
I'm a
all
black
school
man.
children to get jab
Y'all
for
ain't
the
shit.
crowd.
Y'all. Don't come out here and lie, bro.
What's the next
Y'all
one?
niggas come out here and lie.
Okay, Khan.
You're laughing, but you don't.
This is the naturalnews.com.
Yep.
California legislators
California's legislators.
This is my daughter right here. Tell my daughter what a slippery slope is.
trying to
Bring my daughter
force
right here.
all school children to get the
What
jab.
the fuck is a slippery slope?
Yep. Trying to force all children to get the jab.
Give me my baby.
Yep.
Fuck all that.
This was next.
Tell my daughter what a slippery slope is, and then I will respect you. Tell my daughter what a slippery slope is. That's my daughter right there.
Slippery
Now tell
slope.
my daughter what a slippery slope. Oh, you're online once again.
An idea.
You're supposed to know what it is.
Next article.
California
Fuck outta
legislators,
here,
including
bro.
Richard
Y'all
Pan,
niggas are lying. Get the fuck away from here, bro. Y'all niggas are liars. You don't know what you're talking about.
Next article. Come on.
Say what a slippery slope is. What the fuck is a slippery slope?
Black culture. Black identity.
No, it's not, nigga.
Military.
What the fuck is a slippery slope? You're the one who brought it up. Tell me.
Hey, ignore that dude, man. Next article. Next article. Next
Tell me.
article.
there's no edification.
No edification.
So
No,
this is
I
California.
know what a fucking slippery slope is.
All right.
You don't. Try to fuck you gonna try to tell me something.
Next article. Next article.
Next article is what? Nigga, some trash bag? Cause
California
you don't know,
legis-
nigga, what the fuck is a slippery slope? What's a slippery slope? No.
Alright.
You brought it up, right? No, don't read that shit.
Alcoholism.
My daughter's right there. Tell my daughter what a slippery slope is.
Alcoholism. Black identity. The military.
Nigga, you're a trash bag.
All right, whatever. I'll
Right.
do
It
that.
says
Yeah, whatever, nigga. You're
This
lying.
is the brothers Zayan.
You don't even know what the fuck I'm talking about.
Yatasakak.
But hey, the Bible, what y'all read, says slippery slope, right?
Top Cuban
So
official
tell me what a slippery
says
slope is.
Ignore that.
Ignore me, why? Because I'm the truth, nigga. I'm the
peace
truth.
with
I know
US
what a slippery slope
will
is.
only
Do
be
you?
possible.
It's been a while since we had this conference.
It's been a
Tell
minute.
me,
It's
bro.
been a minute.
Raven!
It says top Cuban official says peace with the U.S. will only
Raven.
be possible
Yep.
after the
Yo,
new
come here.
world
These
order
niggas is
is
fucking liars.
established.
Yep.
They don't know what they talking about. The fuck is a slippery
Ready
slope?
again, bro?
No.
All right, fine.
You don't know what the fucking slippery slope
So
is.
next
Hey.
article,
Hey.
Austria signs law
Hey,
making
let's get
the
what you
jab
know, bro.
mandatory for all
How you feeling,
adults.
man?
Yep.
Hey, look at my brother,
Yep.
bro.
It's in Australia, right?
Fine.
Yeah,
Read it again.
That's law.
Yep. We're at 10%, so we'll keep on going.
I'll just go into the next article real quick. Top
Austria signs law making the jab crown mandatory for
Fuck
all
out of here.
adults.
Y'all niggas don't even know what you're
Mandatory,
talking
man.
about.
Mandatory. That's what
Bro,
they're
how
looking to
the
do in
fuck you
Australia,
gonna say
man.
you know what a slippery slope is and you don't? I mean this shit from the bottom of my heart. Don't
Next
do that
article.
shit.
Yeah.
That shit is false and it's fake. Don't do that shit. Don't
Next
ever
article.
say some Do you know what a fucking slippery slope is?
Don't matter what he said.
You don't, nigga. No, it does matter. Everything I said the
This
truth.
is,
Y'all
Reuters.
niggas is lying. Don't do that. You're a
Reuters.
black man, nigga. We're
Russia.
supposed to do this shit the right way.
Russia has sent
You a
some.
black
Black.
man. You a black man.
Yeah, but I don't lie, and you do.
You a black man.
What the fuck is a slippery slope then?
Black identity. What the white man
Yeah,
told
he
you.
just
were.
brought up. What
Can
the
you back
fuck
up?
is a
Can you
slippery
back up, bro?
slope?
Can you back up? Thank you, man. You know, 6 feet.
What's
social
happening?
distancing.
Because we could do it if y'all got an issue.
Nigga,
Because
back
you're
up.
lying, bro.
We're teaching the word, man.
No, you're not, bro. You're fucking
Like, go ahead,
lying.
man.
What the fuck is a slippery
This is
What's a
from the
slippery
Reuters,
slope?
Reuters article. Russia has sent some 30,000 troops.
Yep.
So that's what
Russia
you
sent
think.
some 30,000 troops. So you
If
have
Russia
war. You
wanted
have,
to come over
you
here
have
and do
war
something, they
being
would have
brewed
did
in
it
the Middle
already.
East right now.
Y'all niggas are getting fed the wrong truth.
Okay.
You're lying. I'm telling you that shit straight up.
Next article.
Don't ever
Next
talk
article.
about that dumb
Reuters,
shit, bro.
Reuters.com.
I'm right here, I'm listening.
Satan trying like
Yeah,
You're
it's all good.
fucking, you don't know
super
what you're talking
mutant
about.
HIV
Super
strain
mutant HIV strain.
discovered in Europe.
Yep. And who's that coming from? Who's that information coming from? The so-called white man, man. Putting a boogeyman out there for you to believe.
So, can I ask you a
You know,
question?
at the same time, this dude's harassing us. He has a mask on his
I'm
face.
not
So obviously he's believing whatever the white man tells him, man.
Right.
Including black culture, including the military.
Bro, you can't tell me what a fucking slippery slope is. That's a regular fucking situation.
That's what the next article.
You can't tell me what's a slippery slope.
Okay, it says top food official says
Why you
fees for
Googling
US
it? No, don't
will
Google it,
only-
nigga. You tell me. What the fuck is a slippery slope?
Bring this on first, bro.
You don't know.
It says good world
Bro,
news.
you're following the wrong
Russia comments on
Don't
possibility
get down like that. You
of sending troops to Latin America.
He don't even know what the fuck a slippery slope is.
Russia and the former
I do.
Soviet Union.
Do you? No, you don't. It has nothing to do with Russia, dum-dum. Are you fucking retarded?
So yeah,
You're slow as fuck, ain't it? Oh, so you just want to listen to this man. Or is this your God?
Russia. No,
That's your
not,
God?
that's my brother, man. Russia
No,
comments
that's your
on
fucking brother
possibility
because he's lying to
of
you.
sending troops to Latin America.
Tell me what the fuck a slippery slope is and
Russia
I'll walk
and the
away.
former Soviet Union.
Tell me. I'll walk away, black man.
I'll bring it up.
Tell me, bro. Tell me what a slippery slope is. And I will walk away. You're a fucking liar. Get the fuck out of here with that bullshit, bro. You're
Right,
a
this is,
fucking, you're trying to lead a cult.
Next article.
Can I bring this one real quick, bro?
Cult for what?
This is James 4 and
Boy,
7.
y'all mother-
James 4 and 7.
Y'all better,
So be yourselves therefore to Yahweh,
It's all good.
resist the devil, and he will flee from you.
I'm gonna ask you, bro. I'm trying to tell you the truth. He lying to you.
Well, why don't you go teach him what you believe in,
Yeah,
man?
walk away, man.
If the spirit's on you so much, why don't you go
What
sit
the
up and
fuck
camp
is
and
a
go teach what you
slippery
believe
slope?
in?
You
Walk
just
away.
read it, right?
It don't matter, man. Just
What the
walk
fuck
away.
is a slippery slope,
Walk away,
nigga?
man. Walk away.
Run hands or shut the fuck up.
Walk away then.
Run hands or shut up.
Just walk away. You trouble your life.
Run
Just
hands or
walk
shut
away,
up.
man.
Yeah, I don't care. I got multiple.
All right. This is
We can do it. No. You're a fucking liar and you got these niggas believing in
So
you.
there's the RT
Take it
News.
easy. Have a good day, man.
Good
No, I don't
world.
like liars.
Good World News. It says Russia comments on possibility of
Wait a
sending
minute, you got a
troops
problem?
to Latin America.
Got an issue?
Russia and the
We can handle
former
it over
Soviet
there if you
Union.
want to. Easy money.
He's trying to get brothers locked up.
Yeah,
That's what
yeah,
he's trying to do.
yeah.
There ain't nothing but an agent of Satan, man.
Hey, they even call you Yahushua Satan, so
You're
it's all
a
good.
fucking liar, bro.
They even call
You're
Yahushua a
a
liar.
fucking
So
liar. You don't know. What the fuck is a slippery slope?
ZeroHedge.com.
Tell me what the fuck a slippery slope is.
World food prices.
You don't even fucking know. How the
Accelerate.
fuck you gonna teach them?
Satan turned it off.
Do you know what a slippery slope is? You're supposed to teach them,
That
right?
was James 4 and 7.
Tell them what a slippery slope
Submit
is.
to Yahweh, and then the devil.
Tell them what a slippery slope is. Or tell me.
Russian jammer in Syria seen interfering
that's
with
another
flights
lie.
to Israel.
Yep.
That has nothing to do with Russia. It don't have nothing to do with Russia.
Next article. This is what I'm doing.
Y'all niggas are trash bag if you believe all this bullshit he can't get him out of his mouth.
Russia
That's
refuses
sad, bro.
Israel demand to stop
I'm
jamming
saying straight up, I'm a
GPS
black
of
man.
flights into
Look at
Tel
me.
Aviv.
I'm a
So
black
this is
man.
gonna
You
be
told us several times you're a black man.
bro.
That's good.
I'm not talking to you. I'm a black man. Everything you talking to you is a fucking lie.
and Tel Aviv.
You
when
don't
they're
even know
able
what
to
a
do
fucking
that-
slippery slope is, bro.
It's all good.
No, I got that energy. No, because I hate people fucking preaching this whip ass shit. Nigga wearing them shits, my sister wear that shit. That shit is trash bag. That shit gonna help you be calm. Fuck out of here, bro. That's not cool. Don't do that shit to our people, bro.
Doctor used
Don't do that
Bluetooth
shit to our
applications
people,
to
bro.
detect MAC
You know that
address
shit is
network
trash.
signals and people
No, it's not,
It's
bro.
all good.
I don't want to break no shit. I swear to God.
This is who we are, man.
My bad.
We're the children of Israel, man. Black is a
Yes,
lie.
you are. But you're lying about certain shit.
Okay.
Don't do that. Nigga, I will, hey, if you was telling the truth,
Go
bro,
teach
I
what
will.
you go teach what you believe in, bro. You know?
You're not teaching shit because you're lying. Don't lie, bro. All you gotta do is don't lie and I will fuck with you. I'm a fucking real ass person, bro. I will listen to everything everybody got to say as long as you're not lying, and you're lying.
German mayor issues decree allowing
Russia
anti-jab
has nothing to
protesters
do
to
with
be
this
shot
war. Let
on
me tell you
site.
that one.
So the German
None,
mayor
right?
is saying to shoot people on site, okay, because of people that are what, non-jab.
Yep.
Okay, so that's what's happening. And we're here to
Can
give
you
our
back up,
people
bro? Like,
warning
damn. You know
about
what
what's
I'm saying?
going on.
Like, 6 feet, brother. You know,
Yep.
pestilence and all
Gotta
that.
have the mask on.
We appreciate, we appreciate whatever you think, you know what I'm saying? Because it's all the spirit of Yahweh Bashim Shai. Whether you agree or don't believe, you know,
What
whether
the
you
fuck
agree
did
or,
you say?
it's all the spirit of Yahweh Bashim Shai. That's, Yahweh is the name of the Heavenly
Walking
Father.
away. Don't ever put his name in that shit. I'm walking away. That's
God.
cold as fuck. You're a fucking
Malachi 1 and 14.
Yahweh Bashim Al-Shai, man.
Call all Yahweh Bashim Shai. Call all Yahweh Bashim Shai. Call all Yahweh Bashim Shai. Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai. Call all Yahweh Bashim Shai.
You're a liar. You have a cult, but bro.
Alright,
I got like 2 more seconds before my fucking patience runs out. Don't do that. Don't say that shit. 'Cause you
Austria
went in the
signs
vote.
law making jab
Look at
mandatory
what?
for all
A
adults.
Jap. First
So-
of all, a Jap is a fucking derogatory name. So you shut the fuck up. So you tell me what the fuck you talking about.
So a jab
That's what
in
you taught
Austria
him?
and also Austria
That's what you
are
taught
hunting
him?
down the,
That's what you taught
the
him?
jab, okay?
A Jap?
The non-jab.
J-A-B, the jab, the thing that they want to
If
push
y'all
in the body.
motherfuckers don't call that shit right now, nigga. Look at a derogatory name.
Yeah, they call it.
Fuck out of here, bro.
Let's stick it
Let's
up
keep
for
on
the heathen
teaching, keep on
nations.
teaching.
Okay, Russia has sent some 30,000 combat troops, modern weapons to Belarus, NATO says. And so we know NATO is part of the beast system, a part of that horde. Okay? The horde that rides upon the beast.
What's a
NATO,
whore?
America, and the
Tell
youth.
me what a whore is.
And that's Magog and Gog.
Tell
That's
me
a
what a whore is,
prophecy
please.
that these other heathen nations are what going to rise up against Babylon the Great.
And that's in Revelation, the 17th chapter, the 16th verse.
And always happens Jacob and Ishmael.
Yeah,
Jacob
so
Ishmael.
Japanese and then the Elamite, they go for
Ishmael.
They go to the heathen nations for help.
That actually might be Jacob. Yeah, maybe Northern Kingdom. It's all good, though.
And this is all part of the certain things that you have
That's
to
Acts
deal
the
with.
14th chapter.
You know, because
You know,
we
that's
can't.
Acts 14 and 22.
Because
You
we're
know?
not supposed to be talking. We're
Hey,
supposed
real
to be
quick, and we're
spiritual,
built
right?
for this, bro, because if we were here for this,
Built for shit, nigga. You're getting lied to.
So this is super mutant HIV
111.
strand discovered in Europe.
Wisdom.
Wisdom.
Yeah.
Super mutant HIV strand discovered in Europe.
Yep.
Okay, so we
just
also
went
know
over
Are
that.
you fucking retarded, bro?
Next one.
HIV was
And we
discovered
also
in
know
Europe?
that Mr.
Are you
Science
fucking
is part of that.
retarded? Bro, that's what you're telling us, man?
So, okay, we're part
I
of
don't like you, and you're supposed to be a regular black man. Nigga, we went through all the trenches.
got some Neo leaders.
San Diego
Nigga, I'm from
leaders.
Mississippi. Nigga, what's happening?
San Diego
I'm
leaders.
from Mississippi.
educators-
Nigga, I watched the KKK walk down my motherfucking street. Have you? No, nigga, you haven't.
San Diego
You
leaders,
haven't, nigga.
educators,
You know
unveiled
why, nigga? I watched